the thing that I know Lake Kariba for most famously is how infested it is with crocodiles. And I'm like, what were we thinking? It's like, I think back to like, I mean, my parents especially, like, what the hell are they thinking? I'll never let my child like swim in Lake Kariba. So
Damn.
stupid.
Just a quick side note. Yes, the video did start recording later. I forgot to hit record. Sorry for that.
Wow.
Yeah,
I actually don't forgive you. I'm leaving.
Okay, yeah, I'm not professional at all. Going from depths and Lake Kariba to a place that's got potentially 1,000 lakes, but not in Arizona, Minime.
Actually, we do have a lot of lakes. Thank you very much. Just because
but not 1,000.
Oh no, we have a lot because we get the Colorado River come through. We have Lake Sorara. It's great. That's why I love Arizona, because you can go up north and you get forest and snow. Like literally, I drive an hour, I get fucking snow. I drive an hour down. I go to Mexico and see beautiful sandy beaches. I go that way. I see Texas, but we don't want to go there. And then the other that way, we go to California.
Hi, Texas.
Expenses, and we don't want to go there either right now. So, but Arizona's more versatile, and it's probably one of the best states.
Okay.
Anyway.
And you guys have tea.
And we do have tea. And we have the best weather. Summer sucks, but it's only for 3 months. The rest of the year, it's sunny and 75.
Why is it too hot?
Yeah, we got to, yesterday, I think we hit 110, which is 45?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. That's ridiculous.
44.
It's a dry heat though, so it's not as bad. Like when you go to Florida and it's humid. Like I grew up in Florida Everglades. I can't stand it anymore. That's why we're going back to South Africa during the winter. Yeah, guys, my name is Minnie May. I am a Zuffer, a true Zuffer. I live in Arizona, but I'm originally from South Africa. I play a lot of early access alphas games. I love FPS and MMOs. And currently I'm playing Cloudpunk, which is oddly the most amazing game I've played in a really long time. It's like this futuristic cyberpunk, but like the storyline has different pathways you can choose. So the idea that I can endlessly play this multiple times gets me really excited.
What's it called?
Cloudpunk.
Yeah,
Cloudpunk?
Cloud.
Oh, Cloud. Okay.
So when I looked it up, it was like, you're a delivery person. There's 2 rules, don't ask what's in the package and don't play with your delivery. I was like, oh, that's very vague. And it looks really, the graphics, so I was like, but it really suits the game itself, the graphics, because it's pixelated, but it's smooth, and it's a cyberpunk era, and the game style took me a while to get into. But, like, it's amazing. And, like, the dialogue and... Like, my heart broke within 10 minutes of the game because of Camus, the dog. He's this android dog, because you had to sell his bodies, but then you programmed him into your car so you can still talk to him. And I was like, oh my God. And then there's Teko, who's this android looking for his lover, but then he mentions Tokyo, but that was like hundreds of years ago, before like whatever happened to the world. So he's still looking for this person that he loved back in Tokyo. And it's like, she's been dead for a long time, and it's emotional, and he doesn't understand. Like, you try to tell him, but he just doesn't get it, and he keeps looking.
Oh,
that's really sad.
But it's a great game. So if anyone's looking for a really game to dive into that's really laid back, check out Cloudpunk.
I'm gonna check that out. That sounds like a great game.
From Cloudpunk to another pretty person on the stream. We've got Nicholas Van Jay.
Oh, it was me. Oh, hey.
Yeah, it was you.
I was like, hi, guys. Nicholas Van Jay. I've just been streaming Final Fantasy XIV like religiously for the last, I think, 2 weeks now. And it's probably, I mean, I've always had, in my opinion, really enjoyable streams that I've always enjoyed and stuff. But Final Fantasy XIV has just been like such a trip for me. I've been playing Final Fantasy XIV for about a year now, and I only streamed it in bits and pieces, but like I never thought that it would really amount to a good stream, just because I've never really seen MMO streaming as something that like gets anyone but like a niche demographic. But my streams for Final Fantasy XIV have been just so incredibly fun, and the storyline is probably, I mean, it's definitely the best storyline in any MMO I've ever played, and I'm somewhat of a connoisseur of MMOs. But I would actually go so far as to say it's like top 5 storyline of any game ever, and it's such a great introduction to the franchise as well. If you've never played a Final Fantasy 14, if you've never played a Final Fantasy game, and I'm just so in love with this.
Was supposed to be like, I was told that 15 is a good one to jump into because it doesn't relate too much to any past ones too.
Well, none of
what's
them
actually
relates
really nice
to
is
any
that
of the
they're all
others.
different. Yeah, it's like what's that TV series? That horror one?
American Horror Stories.
So it's like American Horror Story. There are like reoccurring archetypes, not like characters, but character archetypes in a way. So like every couple of Final Fantasy games will have a Biggs, a Jessie, a Wedge, a Cid, but they'll all be like different characters, but fulfilling very similar roles. They'll be different people, and there are obviously like the same the few things that actually do permeate throughout all the games, which is like ether, espers or primals or icons and things like that. So what's really nice is that even though they're not linked, you can play them in any order, still have an incredible experience, and then you can like see Easter eggs from each of them that aren't chronologically linked or anything, which is really cool. So I've learned most
are linked, according to the guy that developed the entire series. All of the games are part of an internalized storyline that will all be summed up by. I can't even finish that sentence. It's so obvious.
I was about to say he died a long time ago.
Yeah, he claimed that there were 20 stories and that they all would make sense how they all connected by the time they got to 20. And I'm pretty sure none of that's going to happen.
Because he died after 9, after Final Fantasy 9.
But the reason why it's called Final Fantasy. Now I don't know if this is an urban legend or whatever, but that was literally his last shot at writing something. So he called it his Final Fantasy. And then it got picked up, and then it just blew up from there. Yeah.
I actually have also heard that. I also don't know if it's true though.
It's almost like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They were about to call it quits, and then a record producer saw them. They were literally saying in the show, "Listen, guys, this is our last show we're doing. We're not going to do anything after this." And when they became famous, that was literally the record producers seeing them and saying, "Listen, I can work with you." Yeah, they were literally like sort of something like that. And from fantasies to reality, and the biggest beard on the cast at the moment, we've got Second Class Elitist. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm hanging in. The last 2 weeks have actually been a little bit rough, mostly physically. I would say just go out and walk it off, except can't do that either. But yeah, things are progressing. I've been playing some Street Fighter 4, which is, a love letter to my high school years. And that if you are interested in 90s era brawlers, it is the best 90s era brawler ever made. Please look up Final Fantasy 4 or just watch my VODs. I've got 16 hours of fun in that.
You mean Street Fighter 4?
I was going to say.
Yeah, Street Fighter 4.
Not Final Fantasy.
Not Final Fantasy 4. But yeah, so Street Fighter 4, which is phenomenal. And we started work on the Command & Conquer Red Alert case, which is going to be so much fun. And other than that, just keep it on. I'm from Philly. It's what we do.
Yeah.
You're from
Philly?
Yeah, Philadelphia.
I went to Philadelphia once. We might have been in the same area. You never know.
Probably somewhere close. I mean, I moved around a bunch of places, but I'm from just outside of Philly and came back about 18 years ago and haven't left again since. So this city fits my personality pretty well. So, take that for what it is.
Yeah. Always sunny in Philadelphia.
It is always sunny in Philadelphia, yeah.
The worst thing about that show is not knowing any of the people that star in that show. I know all those characters. Like, literally, those are local archetypes. I'm not kidding. I know at least 2 or 3 of every character on that show just in my own neighborhood.
That's funny.
It is painfully accurate.
And then you've got me. I play games and I do this. Okay. Also recently into Final Fantasy and all of that. Trying to finish Outer Worlds. And doing some 7 Days to Die. Although I might switch 7 Days to Die out with something that actually works. Something called Minecraft. Yeah, so I'm still in two minds on that, but we'll see how it works. And yeah, do you guys remember what happened the last time?
I do.
I know it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, no, I remember.
I'm gonna go with things didn't go the way we expected them to, and we had to double back and try to regroup.
No one died though. I remember that.
I think we remember someone.
Because of us, someone innocent died.
No one died. Who died?
Nobody's
I
innocent.
died. Ah, yes, that one. Sorry, I forgot about him.
Because of us.
I'm in two minds about that.
Well,
to be honest.
Because of us, someone innocent, someone we had not don't know.
Nobody's innocent. Just because you don't know they didn't do anything wrong doesn't mean they didn't do anything wrong. This is World of Darkness. Nobody's innocent.
No,
Not
I'm sorry. We killed someone without true judgment. That's wrong because we decided to save a pedophile.
he's
over
gonna
someone
die.
who might-
Don't worry.
We didn't save him. We just postponed his demise because we needed.
Exactly.
No, but then someone else died that maybe didn't need to die in that moment.
I decided to leave my
Awesome.
moral boundaries at the door with this game the moment we started. So I was like, okay. Don't know.
This vampire's humanity is too damn high.
This is a
Just
game
a-
of monsters.
I'm kind of with Vinny on this one though.
Without any context or whatever, can any one of you give me a number between 1 and 10?
5.
7.
6.
Okay, we've got 2 7s. Okay, we're gonna go with 7. Thank you very much.
That was weird.
That's got
Holy shit,
no
you guys are-
that's
you
got
guys
no
are-
impact.
Oh my
That's
God.
got no impact on the game whatsoever.
It's because we were close together in
Okay.
Philadelphia and our brains connected many, many years ago.
Oh, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
That's just
So,
science, really.
So let's start a vampire story. But before we do, I need to do a couple of disclaimers first. Sorry, before we do. This is the world of darkness. People in this world of darkness do crazy and fucked up things. And sometimes the characters that you see in front of you also do crazy and fucked up things. This is not a reflection on who they really are in real life. And if you do ever at some point feel uncomfortable with certain scenes, walk away, grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee or whatever, just chill, and come back or just switch it off entirely. It won't be held against you. And some self-shilling things. Our Discord is officially open. Exclamation links in chat and you'll find our Discord link there. And we've got an extra bonus for the people who buys into or who gets into the Discord access via Patreon. There we go, right there. It's open to everybody, but obviously Discord roles will be different, and everybody on Discord gets an extra thing starting with tonight's show. What it is, you'll just have to wait and see. Luckily, tonight's that little thing doesn't need a lot of editing for tonight, so that's cool. And yeah, let's start. Vampire story. Text appears on the screen, and it says, "Some time ago, ... And you hear a crowd of people getting louder and louder. Screen is still black. And you hear an announcement, an announcer guy saying something along the lines of, 'Oh my God, is he gonna break down John the Wall Bane? Is he gonna break him down? 1, 2, oh my God, he broke him down!' And the camera opens up on a fighting ring, sort of like a wrestling style ring. And you see it from the perspective of someone in the crowd. Not too close to the ring, but someone's in the crowd. The screen fades out, and it opens up on an apartment. And it's from the viewpoint of someone. The camera is someone's eyes, obviously. And you hear a door open up, and you hear a voice saying, 'Hi, honey. I've done it. The storyline is going according to plan. And you hear a female voice going, "Oh, that is so brilliant. So how many more months?" And you hear the other voice. You never see him, though, but you hear him say, "Oh, it's about 3 more months, and then the storyline would come to its conclusion. And then I can finally leave this behind and become a referee, or maybe even an announcer. We will see." You're like, "Oh, okay, cool. So how many months?" About 3 months. She's like, "Oh, I'm so brilliant. Let's celebrate, shall we?" And in the background, you hear an instrumental version of Kiss Me playing. And this camera fades out. And it fades back in, and you see female hands looking at a pregnancy test. And it shows positive. And the camera pans up, and you see a woman dressed in all black, with one singular tear running down her cheek. And she walks out, and the next scene, she enters a church where a photo of someone, it's a funeral, and the photo that's there is like a young-looking, this person could go for a younger-looking Kurt Russell, perhaps. And the scene fades out. Let's begin our vampire story. So, Olivia walked down the stairs, and the last thing we heard was, "Oh, hello, dearie."
Oh, now I remember. It's
Oh
all
God.
Womp womp.
I love it had to be me. Okay.
Okay. She's busy in the kitchen area. You weren't in the kitchen area, but she recognized you. She greeted you. You heard that voice.
Shiver went down my back. What the fuck? I walk into the kitchen and I just look up at her. Why are you
Olivia?
Why are you
I'm supposed to help out by keeping someone alive for a bit, apparently.
You said a bit?
Yeah. Apparently there's some shit going down. And I'm here for the talk with Zakar.
Oh, you mean Benny, right? Not Delphine, right? You helping the guy?
I know, I've helped Delphine. I've really
But
helped her.
She's good though, right?
Yeah, no, she's gonna be good.
Well, at least you have one good use. I walk towards the fridge and grab a blood bag. I don't know what my food is. Let me check quick. Oh, I guess I'm at one anyway, so just drink up and get rid of it. So what are you and Zakar gonna talk about?
No, he's gonna talk to every one of us about something.
Do you know what that something is?
Yeah, he might have mentioned it to you guys in passing, perhaps.
Perhaps if you tell me, then
It's about, and she looks around, Mistress Michelle.
Wait. You're on Zakar side?
Yeah. I normally don't choose sides, but this requires me to choose a side.
And why is
Mistress
that?
Michelle forced my hand, so to speak.
Yeah, we don't want to force your old haggy hand. So
But
what
I
did you
do
do?
take care of them pretty, yeah?
What pushed you over the edge?
She's been fucking up. This is the first time you heard her swear in your entire life, since you've met her. She's been fucking up. The reports, I mean, you do know Kyle. That kind of pushed me over the edge, and I hear reports of someone doing dancing tonight to death.
I jump up onto the counter. But why help? Why get involved at all?
Because the previous one was better.
But how did you? I know you said your husband died, but how did you get involved in all of this. Because if I had a choice, this wouldn't be the life I get involved in at all.
How did I get involved? What do you mean exactly by that?
How did you become the mistress right hand for witchcraft and wizardry? How did you become the Minerva McGonagall of the crazy ass Voldemort?
Oh, it just happened. The world works and moves in mysterious ways. One can even say the turtle moves in mysterious ways if you want.
The world
But
does not move
it's sort of a generational thing, I think. It's been
Like your
passed down from grandmother to granddaughter or something.
How
If you
did it
wanna
end
get-
up with the old hag? I'm joking. Sorry. Getting used to being nice to you. So your family has been doing this for a long time?
Yeah, my grandmother has been doing it for a while, and when she passed, I took up the torch. Well, if you want to get really, really into it, she's technically not my grandmother. We just used to call her my grandmother. I just used to call her my grand.
I can relate to you. Forced
Sort of like someone makes you a part of their family and teaches you stuff. And she smiles when she says that.
I kinda
This
get a little
knowing
emotional.
look.
I'm getting a little emotional here. What was your grandma's name?
You're not going to believe me when I tell you. Granny Laura.
Oh god, you're just like a fucking onion. You make me want to cry from anger.
Now,
Yes.
just a quick thing for all of you who's not been to South Africa or has been around a bit as kindred. You have met versions of her on your travels.
Versions
And of Granny Laura, an old hag, essentially, on your travels. And they usually choose to stay neutral unless some shit is going down where they need to correct the balance according to them. So you've met people like her. You've never really interacted with her, mainly because all the areas you've been to, like Theodora, you've met Granny Laura, and then you've met her again because you stayed for a long while in this area.
So you met the previous Granny Laura.
Yeah, you've met her. Nicholas, I can call you Nicholas because Nicholas. You've met her, especially around about the time that shit got really, really serious, and when that one person died, she was like round about there at that point. She didn't cause his death. But she was like more like when crap started going down, when for lack of a better word, the cult started gaining a lot of following or a lot of prominence. You saw like a granny in that setting.
Wait, sorry, when you say that person died, I'm not going to say the name that I'm thinking of, obviously. But are you talking about the person from My Human Life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You've met an old lady like that. You've seen old ladies like that. And the funny thing is, the one person who had the closest experience with it before Granny Laura, was John Andrews, for obvious reasons. And she informed him of a couple of things that happened. He periodically will still get information.
Would they be obvious to me?
John Andrews.
I'm saying, would those things be obvious to me? Would I know why that would be the case?
No. This is between John Andrews and his backstory.
Okay.
Yeah. So you all know a granny like this, but they were never like, you were never important enough, so to speak, to have them directly interact with you, except on the case of John Andrews, because he asked a few favors for things to happen. Yeah. So yeah, let's get back to Granny Laura. Just a quick background information there. And no, this is not official. This is homebrew Vampire the Masquerade. Yeah, so she was my granny.
Am I allowed to know your real name? Or is it part of your being impartial?
It's Laura.
So how do you guys learn your stuff? Do you interact with other supernaturals?
We learn it from our grannies.
Where did they, like, how did it start? Sorry, it's historian in me, but like, how did it start? Like, coming from where I did, we got told to just avoid the crazy people like you. But we never got told why, like, how it all began, your origin story. Everything has an origin story.
Well, the first grannies were part of we're all across the world essentially, but the most prominent ones that you might know, seeing as you spent a lot of time there, was those unfortunate. They weren't real grannies, but people believed them to be. It's in a town called Salem. Yeah, around about there. That was the origin story. A couple of grannies got together from all across the United States at that point, and they started having regular meetings and talking about stuff. And they said, "Hey, let's start this thing." And they were all in agreement of it. But unfortunately, those poor bastards got sniff in the nose, if you will, and they started hunting down almost anything and everything that looked weird to them. Meanwhile, leaving the old ladies alone. Well, us old ladies. Them old ladies.
How old are you?
I am 84.
Were you born old? It's like, is that a thing?
No, I was. I'm a
How were you
normal human.
chosen? How were you chosen?
Basically, I think because of my name, Laura.
Oh, so if I was human and I had a child named Laura, it would instantly be a hag.
That child would be looked at for potential future stuff.
Is it a name?
It's probably the name, I don't know. We just know when we find Laura, and we start talking to her. And we don't kidnap them or anything. We have this whole official thing where we go to the parents' house and like, hey, your child is. I know you think your child is precious, but she's even more precious. And then we try and sort it out. I'm in talks actually with the family currently, because I know my time is near, and I need to, try and teach someone the ways.
Do you take the child from the parents if they agree?
If they agree, then yeah, the child stays with them and she comes to classes or whatever. We teach her during the day, and as long as everybody's in full agreement, then yeah, we teach them, and eventually the child moves out of the house round about age 18, 19, and lives with me, and then or the granny, and then we continue our teachings until it's time for me to walk that black desert.
Black desert?
It's a nice way of saying I'm dying. I'm gonna die. It's a nice way of saying death, dearie.
So what if you got, like, killed? Like, not saying any intention, trust me, I've thought about it, but I'm too kind to do so. What if you die and you didn't have a prodigy in training? Can you predict when your death is upon you?
I'm not gonna die for a long while, dearie.
But how do you know?
That's the side effect. We do know when we're going.
Do you know how you go?
Yeah, well, we do know when we're going.
Do you know for other people too?
Unfortunately not, dearie. That's a secret only closely guarded by us.
Well, can't believe I'm going to say this, but Hag, you've probably moved up a little bit in my world.
Yeah,
You can
and,
teach some people about raising children. I hop off the counter. I'm going to go find some car. And I walk off to go upstairs.
the camera cuts away. Where do we find the rest of you? You were up top busy talking with Zakar? Where do we find you guys? Do you remember? Please tell me you remember, because I kind of forgot.
I remember. I was in
You're in the car.
I was in Stefan's car. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, you guys hear the beeping from outside because I just smashed the wheel. And they're like,
Yeah. So what everybody hears like, bye, mate.
beep beep beep
Yeah.
beep, and you just hear like this fuck from outside.
And John Andrews and Theodora, where do you guys find?
I
you?
think-
Should I veil myself? Okay.
I believe I was depositing a soon-to-be body.
And Theodora?
I was I think weeping over the ashes of my leftover statue, which is now in pieces, ashy. So
Yeah. Wind picks up slightly and blows some of it away. You hear the footsteps of John Andrews walk past you. Heavy footsteps, obviously, because he's carrying a body. And as you pass, do you want to stop and talk to her a little bit? Do you want to?
don't step in my stuff. Oh gosh, it's trying to like gather the dust.
You should know as well as if not better than most, dust is dust.
I can make clay out of this. It can still be useful.
I just keep walking past.
The camera lingers on a bit as you're gathering the dust. As some of the dust particles falls through your hand, trying to gather some of it. Are you going to scoop it up into something? Are you trying to save
I think
most of
by
it?
this point I'm gonna give up because it's just blowing you away. And
Yeah. You get up and you follow John Andrews in. You reach Zakar and he looks at you and is like, hey, you know where to put that hallway last room at
Yep.
the end.
Been there.
If you want to join us afterwards, or I'll join you down there below. Let's join each other. Let's meet up in the kitchen area or close to that room. Is
Good
he
idea.
still? Yeah, he's still knocked out. Okay, yeah. Cool. Oh, Theodora.
yes, a car.
There's a bit of dust on you.
Ouch.
That was an unfortunate accident. To be expected though, because this place is watered to hell and high water. I didn't
Well,
know.
I
I didn't
guess I'll
think
just-
that would happen. I just thought like, you'd still come in with the statue pieces, but whatever remained inside would be gone. But it seems like the entire statue.
No, I guess not.
So, is your passenger still with you?
I believe she is.
Okay. You think sorting this issue out, and he points as John Andrews walks down the stairs. You sort
I
that out.
certainly hope so. I really do. But Nicholas did suggest maybe doing a seance to see if there was anything else she may have wanted. But now I'm a little nervous about that because, you know, you give a hand and they take her arm. I don't really want to give her the option to once more out of not leaving.
Interesting point. Where is? Oh, that's probably him. We should gather everybody up again. We should gather everybody up. I'm gonna have to talk to all of you downstairs. If you would be so kind as to join John.
Of course.
And
I'll
I'm
be on
gonna
my way
go
then.
I'm gonna go get Nicholas. Yeah. Cool.
And I'm gonna walk off.
Right. What are you doing in the car, Nicholas?
So I'm
Like
kind of
the
just
airbag
like,
is still on your face, and
yeah. So okay, like you come outside and you can see that the airbag is. You can see like it's literally just like the sides of my shoulders and then just airbag, and then you see me bring my hand up like this, and then suddenly it's like that, like knife sharp, and then just like pop,
Mhm.
and then I like, and then I kind of just like fall into it, like really disheveled and defeated, and like you can just see that I'm like really fucking fed up and I've had enough, and I'm
So,
just lying on the wheel.
why do you feel like this?
So before we, when we ended in our last session, I just got into a big altercation with John Andrews' character, with John Andrews, and I felt like I came into this feeling like I had some modicum of control, and now I feel like, as a result of the altercation and watching somebody die because of actions that we made, and now also like being entangled in this really graphic saga with Theodora's child statue, and like having to, you know, do all of these things that, I mean, sure, it's not my first time. I've been alive for a couple of hundred years, but have just been really, but you know, would be harrowing for anyone. And I feel like I'm second guessing everything that I'm doing, and also I just like think that I also think that John Andrews is like a dick as well, and then that kind of interpersonal conflict has been like winding my character down, grinding
Now,
it down.
here's the big question: is it because there is? Are you feeling this way now because there are children involved, or is there another reason? Why do you think?
I think, yeah, the children. I think for me, the obviously having to work with the corpse of a child, and B, the incredibly traumatized sort of spiritual remnant of a child,
Mhm.
and also the nature of the child's death and the events that led up to that. Just all, like, you know, I like maybe a couple of days ago I was doing a show, right? Because my
Yeah.
character's a drag queen, and I was doing a show, and I live a very social, happy life with people that I like and stuff, and I actually almost feel forced into this encounter as well,
Mhm.
just because of all reasons that I won't say.
Mhm.
But I feel like the walls are closing in on me, and I'm being like forced into this role that I don't really want to fulfill. And I also, but now that children are involved, and there's a ring of child sex traffickers, I feel like morally obligated to see it through so that I can, you know, do something about it.
Yeah.
But it's so much.
The
And now
the
I've
s-
smashed my blood doll's car.
the the smell. Now you've lived long enough to recognize the different smells. The smell
Mhm.
of white roses hits you. You smell white roses. There's a difference to
Yeah.
your senses. You know the difference between what a red rose smells like, a white rose, a yellow rose. White roses specifically
Mhm.
hits you, and you feel like a little bit of pressure,
Like
like about
physical.
like physical pressure across your chest, like someone sitting next to you. The pressure you're feeling, holding like on your body, is someone hugging you as if they're sitting next to you in the car.
Okay.
Yeah. Tiny arms just hugging you, and you smell white roses.
Made me cry, Zephyr. Okay. Okay. So, is this something I've felt? Is this something I've ever felt before?
Um, you've thought about this a couple of times in your unluck.
Uh-huh.
You've actually thought about this. Most people think about this when they're alive as well.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking about. You're probably like the things you thought about was what it would feel like to die. what obviously awaits us after we die. Now, most people go, we go die, we turn into dust, we turn into dirt, and that's it. But some
Yeah.
people have a certain inclination of there must be something else. And the funny thing is, at some point in your life, you thought like, hey, if I die, I'm going to be surrounded by a field of white roses and a calming effect. It'll be calm all around me. That's what you at some point thought. Weird.
Okay.
It's weird, and that's what the smell of roses. This is what this brings back up again.
So this doesn't strike me as a supernatural presence so much as like a psychological affect of my situation.
That is for you to decide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I kind of breathe it in deeply, and I just lay back in the seat. And I kind of like, when like relatively kind of like, like dramatic characters in media, when they realize, they feel silly crying, and they just suddenly like and they just like print back their hair and they like dab their eyes, and he's like, okay, I'm done with that. So that's
Mhm.
kind of what my character does, like in the car there.
Mhm.
And now I'm thinking about like having to phone Stefan. What time is it?
It's about 12, 12:30 in the
Okay.
evening.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna phone him.
If I've got my time correct, I might have messed up the time, but it's still
That's fine.
it's late at night. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
And on the gravel, you hear footsteps as a man in an overcoat and a trench coat, if you will, walks up to you. It's a car.
It is a car. Okay.
Yeah, it's a car. He's like, wow, you've got some explaining to do at some point. I mean, we
So I
could
roll
get
down the
this-
window.
He's like, oh. Obviously, you could hear him, but yeah, you roll down
Yeah,
the
yeah.
window. Yeah.
I say, what do you want, the car?
We kind of need. We can sort this out for you. You don't need to have an awkward conversation, apparently. We can sort this out for you tomorrow.
So, okay. Well, thank you.
Kyle is on the
actually
mend. He can actually sort this out for you, and no one will be the wiser. But the thing that I want to talk to you about is, well, I got to talk to you all about something. You know about it. We're trying to, the whole Mistress Michelle thing. And this is where the DM
Yes.
voice comes in, the notes I gave you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Like what? Like my role in this? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to sort this out. We got to start working on a plan. And we've got to interrogate a poor bastard. Personally, I would have killed him a long time ago, but apparently you need info. So let's just...
Well, now I don't know, actually.
apparently, they need info. Let's just get back and get everybody on the same page and talk things out. We need to talk things out a little bit. I feel like you were thrust into this but too quickly. And maybe we can give you some answers. Touch base, as the people say.
Well, that would be very helpful. To be true. Okay. Do we need to do this now, or?
Well, I need to talk to everybody about the thing that we're planning, and if you guys want to touch base afterwards or interrogate, it's all up to you. So,
Okay, sure.
should I give you a
Why
couple of
not?
minutes and then you join us, or are you just gonna come with me? And
No, I'm fine. Let's
You're
just
fine.
get this over with. Yeah.
okay, cool.
Great.
And the moment you get out of the car, the smell of roses disappear.
Okay.
And if you could roll me a wits and
make-
awareness. Or
wits
awareness
and
wits, that's how it
awareness.
works in this game.
Awareness and wits. Oh, here it is. Found it. Okay. And then wits. Boom. Did it roll? No.
It might-
Let me try again. Either.
Oh, no,
There we go.
You're not that aware, are you?
Is that I actually? Can I be honest with you guys? I still haven't actually figured out how to tell if I got a good roll or not. And you
Okay,
think I would
so
know?
this is the thing. For a roll, I add
More
certain.
successes is better.
Yeah, the more successes, the better. I create a roll
This is
for
different from D&D.
with a certain difficulty of success. In D&D, in this case, in D&D, I would ask you to roll me a D20, and if you hit 12 or more, you pass the check. Now, instead of the D20 12 or more, I've got 1 out of 5. I've got 5 levels of success. And depending on, like, let's say I say the success I need for this is at least 3 successes. You rolled 2 successes, so you failed it. Not in this case, though, but you actually hit the success on the spot. So,
Okay.
yeah, so that means essentially the difficulty I assign to it, you hit it, and we're going to continue on from there.
Okay.
On the gravel.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. You hear a third set of footsteps on the gravel.
Okay,
Light footsteps, tiny footsteps, light footsteps.
Okay, I focus in on it.
Focus in on it. It's to the side of you. The same side, like Zakar would be walking on, like, you were sitting in the car like this. So on your left-hand side, that's where the footsteps are coming from. The right-hand side is Zakar walking slightly ahead of you. He seems
So
oblivious
I
to
hear the
sound.
footsteps, but I don't see anything making them.
Yeah, you look next to you, you don't see anything making them, nothing whatsoever.
Okay. I keep my hand low and behind me, but I hold out my hand as if to like take a hand. The sound of the footsteps, I would assume would I would know by the sound that it's the weight of a child.
Yes, you definitely know that's basically it. Yeah.
So I put up my hand, like to take a hand, take a child's hand.
You feel now. This is going to be a very weird question.
Okay.
It's going to be a very weird question. Have you ever caught tears in the palm of your hand before?
Yes, I think so.
You feel that
Sure
in the palm of your hand.
I can imagine.
You can imagine. You feel tears in the palm of your hand.
It's very sad.
Basically droplets of water, but it's tears.
Okay. Do I see anything in my hand when I look at it?
When you look at it, there's nothing. It's like that whole ghostly coldness, the lukewarm, ghostly feeling that you get in your hand with the droplets.
Okay. Can I say something that is quiet enough to be inaudible to Zakar?
You're next to a vampire. He's probably going to hear it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, okay. Never mind. I'll just.
You hold your hand out again.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I do.
And it's not as if it's getting more. It's just a few droplets that's staying. That feeling of a few droplets in the palm of your hand.
Okay.
And the moment you cross the threshold, it feels like I told you before, it feels like you're passing underneath a waterfall.
Waterfall. Yeah.
That coldness hits you, and then the moment you through the threshold, that feeling in the palm of your hand is gone.
Okay. Yeah. I look at Zakar and I said, excuse me for a moment. I'm not going to explain this to you, but I need to do something. And then I go out the door again and I say, I'm not leaving you behind. Just give me some time and I'm here for you. And then I just go back through the door. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure that's like erring on the side of caution to be like nice.
Okay, yeah.
So I go back in and
you go back in. The only thing that replied to you were crickets, and that's it. You join up with Zakar. Zakar
is going crazy as well.
Yeah, Zakar just looks at you and is like, okay, cool. And you eventually join everybody in the kitchen. Now, who do you see in the kitchen? Simple. You see everybody, including a woman you could have sworn you've seen before in your life. But this one's different. It's the same, but different.
Granny Laura, right?
This is Granny Laura, yeah.
And did I know her name when I saw did I know the name when I saw the one that I saw? Or not?
Yes, you knew the name, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It was
how
whispers.
well
Like they
did
were
I
like,
know the?
"It's Laura. That's Glenn." That's how you know about her. Yeah.
Okay, so and I don't know that that Granny Laura is just a moniker, not an actual person.
Yeah. You've lived long enough to realize that there's multiples of her.
So I look at her. I look at her, and I say, Granny Laura, I assume, but I take it's not the one with whom I'm familiar.
Just a quick thing, is Olivia also in the room?
Well, I did go upstairs, so probably.
Okay.
Maybe you followed us down. Don't know.
So I
you
upstairs.
went back out to the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
before
basically
Granny-
like you met him as he walked. Sorry, I forgot totally about that. As he was walking down with Nicholas behind him. Well, Nicholas was at this point not behind him. He's like, "Yeah, let's go down.
Oh.
Yeah, talk
Okay.
to the granny." So you're all there. I just had to retcon that very quickly. You're all
Okay.
there, and all of you roll me a wits and awareness. I need you guys to notice something.
Vitus and awareness.
Awareness. Wit.
Awareness.
Awareness, wits.
Awareness.
No, I need to keep track. Theodora's got 2. Nicholas got
got
3.
3.
Cool.
The rolls are not on my side today, apparently.
Was there? Did I just miss rolls?
Yeah.
John Andrews got 2.
That's it.
And you, okay, so it's 2, 2, 3, and 2. Nicholas, as you, none of the rest of you don't see this, by the way, just Nicholas does.
Oh, special.
There's a quick shimmer in her eyes as she looks at you,
Okay.
and she's like just like a quick like flash over her eyes.
Okay.
Like, oh, Nicholas, it's been a while, dearie. It's been a while.
So I kind of look at her and I kind of look like I've been taken aback, and I'm like, and I say, you're the same one, then.
No, they informed me from Cape Town. And, sorry, excuse an old lady. I saw a photo. And somewhere in my mind
Okay.
it just got mixed up. I'm sorry. Sorry,
Okay,
it's
that's
hi. I'm Granny Laura. You know me. How do you know? What? Excuse an old lady.
So yeah, that's. I mean, of course. My apologies. I misinterpreted the diction. But
Yeah, that
is-
wasn't creepy at all.
yeah, I'm obviously not buying any of this because I'm like, no, I know, like I know this organization not fairly well, but well enough. So I say, well, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. I was,
My
like, staring.
roll 20 just died on me. Just give me a few seconds.
No problem.
Crap. Okay, while that is loading in,
Sure.
could you just repeat that, because I hate it when that happens.
Sure. I said, okay. Well, and obviously, like, you can hear that I'm not buying it at all, and I'm trying to make it very clear in my voice that I don't believe her at all. And I say, well, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. Then
The pleasure is all mine, dearie. So, how are we gonna do this? The car? And the car
what are we
looks,
doing? I'm like looking around.
and the car looks and is like, well, you've had enough dealings with, and he looks around again, and Granny's like, it's safe, dearie. You've had enough dealings with, Mistress M to know that this is not how things should be. We're trying to get the previous one back. the previous
Oh,
Baron.
so we're all on the same plan now. That's news to me. I thought this was like my crusade.
And here we go.
So I kind of look at everyone. I'm like, so we're all like actually on the same page right now.
Pretty much.
I don't know that I'd go that far.
Okay,
Dave-
well,
We enjoy having a psychotic lady murder innocent people. Is that how high you think of us, Nicholas?
I'm not saying you were enjoying it. I just didn't realize that we were all actively trying to overthrow her. That's good. That's good. Because I really had no idea what you guys were doing, I'm going to be honest. But I knew that you were my way into that social circle. So now we can do that.
He's just using us, is it?
Okay, you
I'm
turned a
glad
child.
I'm not the
into a
only one that
statue.
read it that way.
I still don't understand why you're connected to this anyway. Who the fuck are you anyway in this situation?
So that's a great question. I have been given sort of incentives, although incentives is is misrepresenting my stakes in the matter, to help. I'm assuming you guys overthrow Mistress M.
But
And
why?
if not,
What
well,
incentive to help us?
so okay. I mean,
Understand.
personal, but we're all in this together now, so let's go for it. I don't really Zephyr, sorry, you did send this to me earlier when we had started, but it wasn't I don't think we really kind of fleshed out. I felt like I wasn't being blackmailed, but it was a case of like either you do this or something horrible happened to you, which actually that I said out loud is exactly what blackmail is.
It is. You've been. Yeah, basically.
Okay. Who
Yeah.
was I blackmailed by? The one vampire. Should I say this? Is this something we could talk about?
Say it and find out.
Say it and find out.
I don't know if I want to. No, I'm gonna message that.
I would
Okay.
message it because if it's something that the rest of us shouldn't know, then we have to reverse metagame it, which is
Yeah.
always a
Kinda
problem.
difficult.
Okay. All right. I've just quickly done a catch up on our chat. There's okay, I know. Sort of see why though.
Okay, I'm gonna switch scenes. We're not going on a break. I'm just gonna type in there. I'm just gonna send him a bit of an extra tidbit of information if needs be. So we're just because the moment I switch over, everybody will see it on stream, and I don't want to see that, show that. So be right
Yeah.
back. We're still here, by the way. We're just
I was about to say, can they hear us?
they can hear us, yeah.
Damn,
I
we're gonna
know-
talk badly about them.
Oh no. Because I know who wants me to do this, but there was never like a clear motivation.
Okay, yeah, he is content. Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay, wait. I'm
Oh,
sending
okay.
Okay, I wasn't going to. Yeah.
This is all cool.
Sorry, I need to like Google something.
Yeah.
Um.
And I forgot the music. Can you believe it?
I heard it earlier.
Oh, there.
I heard something. I wasn't sure though. Okay. All right, Zephyr. Here we go.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. All right. Okay. We are. I'm ready. I can't say we, but I'm definitely ready.
Okay. Just a few
So-
bits of extra information.
Should I?
yeah.
Should I? Okay. So I look at everyone and I say, well, I'm being blackmailed. For if you guys want the simple description, and I can't tell you what it is with which I'm being blackmailed, so that would defeat the purpose of me doing all of this to prevent that information coming out. But I'm being blackmailed. It's not for anything terrible, you know. I haven't like murdered an orphanage or anything like that. It's just for something that could be really bad for me. But having said that, the situation that we are in and the more I find out about what's going on here, the more I want to see this through of my own volition. And I know that I've my not being as well informed as you guys have been of the situation has caused problems, and I'm sorry for that. But I want to avail myself to you in any way that I can to help you see through, see to fruition what it is that you guys are doing. And that's just what I wanted to say about that.
But you're not really helping us. You're helping yourself.
No, I am. So they're not mutually exclusive. I can definitely do both of those things. Me helping you and me helping myself are, in this case, synonymous. But I would help you anyway, given what I know about the situation. So I'm definitely not apathetic to your plight.
Who's blackmailing you?
That is a really good question. So who is blackmailing me? It's like, if I tell you, then it's so very problematic. And I know that makes you want to know more, but I cannot tell you yet. But if it's any consolation, I will be sure to tell you when I am out of the woods, as it were.
How
It
do we
also
know
means
where-
that any advice that you give us or any assistance you give us, A, is suspect, B, can be revoked at any time, and C, is possibly also the work of a third agent who is trying to get more information on us or trying to push their own agenda, which temporarily assigns with us until we become expendable.
Sure, that's understandable. I would, that makes
But I
sense.
appreciate that you gave us this information, because even coming out and saying as much as you have takes a bit of balls in this situation.
Well, I feel we got off on the wrong foot, as it were, and I would like to do what I can to make amends for that. I don't obviously absolve myself of responsibility for the situation in which we currently see ourselves, and I do want to help. So I want to be as open a book as I can be, but for now, I would very much appreciate it if you trust that the person who is blackmailing me is A, not important right now, and B, would put me in a very compromising position to reveal to you, because I don't know you guys that well, and I'm putting myself in a vulnerable position even telling you what I have been telling you. And it's not that I'm not telling you because I'm worried about what you'll do to me, but I'm not telling you because I'm worried about what your I'm worried about how you will use that against me should things between us turn sour.
Seems legit.
If I'm being candid.
Sure. I'm not sold.
Okay.
Why you?
Why
I
me?
just want to know, why would they send you? What do you have that they sought out to find something on you to force you to help us?
That is a good question, Olivia.
Can we get on to us?
I can actually. It's kind of awkward. I can tell you. I mean, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the scene, but I am an entertainer of sorts. I'm a very well-known entertainer. You might not recognize me out of costume and makeup and wig. You guys see where I'm going with this? I'm a drag queen. Is that getting clear?
Oh, well, that puts my ambition to
Oh well.
rest.
You
Sorry.
really didn't pick up on that, Theo, that he kind of... No? Okay.
No.
But I am also over 100 years old, and I've been doing it for a very long time. I have extensive military training. I have an extensive background in military, albeit from a medical perspective, mind you, from both World War I and some of World War II. And I have a pretty decent skill repertoire as a
what? He froze.
He froze.
He froze. He said recon. I guess the person he's blackmailed by is really serious about it, but not talking to us.
Yeah, he froze.
He's in torpor.
Oh no!
Automatic torpor, like that.
It's a torpor.
Oh
Wow,
shit!
text torpor.
Wow. Let's just
Thank you.
see
Good
what,
night, everyone.
let's just see what happens here, because this was like really. I was Oh shit!
The thing that concerns me is he has not yet realized that we're frozen for him, nor has he said anything in
dear.
Discord or in the chat.
His
which means I
internet
think he
might
just
have
lost
died.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's not currently on Discord. He has been.
He might be experiencing load shedding.
Oh god.
He might be. Ooh. I'm not seeing any messages coming through from him.
Nope.
Yeah. There we
He
go.
is not
Hello.
on Discord.
Yes. Okay, he's
Okay.
back on Discord. Hi. You froze.
You might have to go and be right back so you can end it, get him back in.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Hey!
You're
You're
muted,
muted.
by the way.
Oh my god, I'm alive!
You're alive.
happened?
I'm really
What
concerned
happened?
that you just ceased to exist. Like you just
I have
got
no idea.
Thanos right off the page.
We,
I
we
have no
just
idea what's going
assumed the person blackmailing you was very serious.
Got me. So okay, sorry. Where were we before I Thanos snapped?
Rick. You said Rick.
Okay.
They're sending me to
so-
Rick.
So I have a specific skill set in diplomacy and reconnoitering. So
Clearly, you have that skill.
I'm a spy, essentially. I mean, it might as well call it what it is. I am being asked to spy. I'm being asked to spy. I mean, it's
Not
all
on
very
us.
dramatic, isn't it?
Zakar,
No, not on you. I didn't even know you. I didn't even really know that I would be. I didn't really even know that I would be involved with another group. I kind of thought that this was something I would have to do on my own. I don't think that the people who got me involved in this even know you exist. If I'm being honest.
That's a
Zakar
plus.
looks at you, and he tries and figures something out.
I'm gonna message you about something, Zephyr, just so I can make extra sure, but I don't want to like ask because it'll give away like intentions and stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So, what characters have you portrayed that's particularly famous? Give me about two names. Give me two names that you've portrayed that people would have known.
Okay.
Your characters as.
Me personally.
Yeah, like I'm talking the characters you've portrayed as Nicholas Pollitt. Because
Oh,
Zakar
okay.
actually recognizes two of them.
Oh, you mean my drag personas?
Yes.
We're finding
Can I
some things about Zakar.
Can I just make something up or?
Yeah, make something up.
Okay, the Amarilla Queen. Amarilla is a type of flower. It's spelled Amaryllis.
Mm.
So the Amarilla Queen and let's think of something.
Okay, just hold it there. Just hold it there.
Okay.
He looks at you. He looks at you. He's like, armadillo. Armadillo. Are you armadillo?
Amarilla Queen. Yes.
Are you?
Yes, I am. I take it you're a fan.
Wow. But he looks at all of you and he's like, this guy is really good.
Thank
Are
you.
you? And he looks at you and he's like, okay, wait. This has been bothering me for a bit. Am I correct in saying this guy is really good?
Oh.
How does that work?
Well,
I'm of the old ways, and I know people get offended. So
no, I'm like over 100 years old, so I've been through it all. No, my understanding, at least in the 21st century of drag culture, when I started, it was still called female impersonation. You see, so it's come a long way from when I started.
Sort of like that Peter guy. That Peter
those late
guy.
nights. Yes,
Yeah,
actually,
sort of like Peter
funny
guy,
you
yeah.
should mention that.
Yeah.
So when you wouldn't see to look at us because he looks so much older than I do, but he's human, so that's stands to reason. But I was actually his drag mother when he started out during and I don't want to boast, but I was somewhat of an influence of his for his activism during the apartheid era against the apartheid government. So
Yeah, he's been
welcome.
he said in a lot of interviews that was the only way he could get into drag, is by telling people that, you know, it's just I'm impersonating someone.
Yeah, well, when I started, it was sorry, I just need to quickly check when my character was. I want to say like late. Oh, my character, Herbert Charles Pollitt started drag around the late 1800s. So I say, yeah, well, in the late 1800s, it was still considered female impersonation. I used to do it almost exclusively at the Kit Kat Club in Amsterdam, which was one of the more hedonistic parts of Europe. So it was a lot of fun.
He's a chameleon,
but to answer your
guys.
question,
He's a chameleon.
I mean, but to answer your question, it really depends on on what the artist is doing. So right now, obviously, I'm not in drag, so you can refer to me by, you know, my male identifying pronouns, which is totally fine.
I've learned something new today.
You're welcome, Zakar. And then I realized in the back of my mind that Zakar is probably like buttering me up for something, and I just ignore it.
And he turns to the rest of you and he's like, this guy, and he looks at you again. Is a chameleon. He's a chameleon. He can get into places, and sometimes she can get into places, I guess. Yeah.
Apparently,
true story.
He already got into your library, and you didn't know about it.
It's the power of makeup, darling.
Now that you mention that, I would like, you're suspicious, right? You're a bit suspicious of that. I'd like you, Mr. John Andrews, to roll me wits and insight.
Ooh, dice change.
I know, right? I have to find a whole new skill. Man, that was so close to 3 successes.
You're suspicious. You're suspicious, definitely.
Suspicious.
But yeah, he didn't know. He didn't know anything about him. Definitely. Yeah. Do any of you want to roll something when he like?
Don't worry. Of
course I didn't.
I'm going to use that information. I'm going to use that information later in my upcoming argument. Trust me.
Okay. You guys want to know something? You're more than welcome to.
All right, I'm game.
Where is insight?
Insight is in the middle.
Yeah, I'll
middle
do the
column.
same thing. Ha!
What was it? Insight and?
Wits.
5 successes.
Oh, look at this. Oh.
Theodora, why are you always messy?
Messy.
For a prude, you're pretty messy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Olivia first. He's lying. Zakar is lying. Through his vampire teeth, he is lying. Now, for Theodora, seeing as you've been doing these Macy criticals so often, I'm gonna change the rules around a bit. You're under control, but you gain 1 hunger. Because you've been hitting this so much. The Macy criticals do pop up with you.
There's just not enough furniture around.
Yeah. So you gain 1 hunger, and you do realize that he is lying. He does know a lot about Nicholas, but in this instance, he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." Even when he said the armadillo thing, he was faking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a weird confusion to have.
Yeah.
Sure, you don't know his call. Okay.
Yeah.
Putting this aside for now.
He's a chameleon. So,
why are we here?
I'm in contact with the previous Baroness, Beth, and full name. I'm not going to give you her full name. Beth. She goes by the moniker of Beth. We're getting ready to strike out against Mistress Michelle. the thing that I was hoping you guys would do, but in some way it kind of achieved the same goals tonight, is I was hoping that you would just give Benny to her. But to prove her point, she took a civilian off the street. And that is... We need to put her in situations where she freaks out and shows her power. And believe me, some of these things were recorded. It's gonna... We're working on a plan, but we need a few more of these instances.
So do you think it'll destabilize her?
To destabilize her and give us a reason to fight the general community in dethroning her. To prove to the general community that we can dethrone her and put someone else in place. Someone else that has been here before. Yeah?
Okay. I just want to ask you like a player question from my perspective. The hierarchy of the situation, is there a higher authority than her?
Kane.
Like the Kane, like the mark
Can
of
we
Kane.
not say that name a third time, please?
No.
I don't know.
The hierarchy, if we're going to go with hierarchy, it's essentially the Camarilla, and an offshoot of the Camarilla are the Anarchs. The Anarchs are basically the Camarilla, but with lighter rules, according to them. They don't care.
They're the Pepsi to Coke.
Yeah, they're the Pepsi to Coke. Now the Camarilla,
or perhaps in a tech stream, they're the AMD to Intel.
Yeah. So what happens is the Camarilla have got a few select, I believe they call them the White Tower. Few select council members that overrules everything Camarilla. And below them, we've got the princes. And sometimes the princes are either an area or a city-state or a province, or, you know, whatever this region is, that's the princes. And usually they allow, like, hey, if an anarch baron or baroness comes in, they'll give them a bit of land or thing just to rule over to keep them quiet. And essentially, Bloemfontein was always a sort of an anarch-ruled state. It was just only recently that the anarch-ruled state was taken over by another baroness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah, the previous baroness, her name, her sort of nickname, she basically let everything go, and only in extreme circumstances she would intervene, as like, hey, you guys are fucking up. But generally, the Bloemfontein area was like a really relaxed town. Couple of werewolf attacks here and there, and they got sorted out. A couple of vampires going crazy, they got sorted out. But it was never a big thing. As, like, this is the first time you've seen an anarch baroness, or even a prince, act this gruesomely to prove a point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the hierarchy, there's someone probably who made this an anarch state. And that person is a prince or the Camarilla. Or the Camarilla doesn't care enough about Bloemfontein to turn it into a Camarilla state.
Both are pretty legit.
Yeah, both are pretty legit.
Bloom.
It is Bloom. Yeah.
Okay. Are you still saying saying things as Zakar, or can we?
No, this is me just giving you info. This is not Zakar.
No, I mean like from now, because I have some things that I want to say in my character, but I don't want to interrupt what's already being said.
No, Zakar basically said, hey, he's a chameleon. Sometimes she's a chameleon.
So I turn to the group and I say, now that we're all on the same page, more or less.
Again, assumption.
Well, I'm on the same page. So I wanted to actually run a theory through you guys, by you guys, when something like this happened, if something like this happened. But now that we're all working towards a common goal, whether you assume it or not, I wanted to ask, do you think that there's a possibility that Mistress M might actually be the person who is responsible for the trafficking of Herc, and as a sort of I remember, and I make some like completely arbitrary relation to something from like 100 years ago in my past in some random state, as my character is wont to do. Like I always bring up random anecdotes in some attempt to show that she has control over the criminal underworld to make everyone feel safe, but without revealing the fact that she is actually the one who is creating this criminal element.
I thought we already told you we already assumed that. Did we bring the
I
name down on that?
don't think so.
It's also
would've
quite
remembered.
possible that power simply craves power, and while in charge, she has tried to extend her control to the flip side of the coin.
Yeah.
It's been repeated enough times in history that it's nothing new.
Yeah, I suppose. But then if we could perhaps, I mean, obviously this is obviously what we're going to be trying to do, but is it possible that if we can establish with no uncertain amount of proof a link between her and the trafficking of Herc, that we could perhaps petition the Anarchs to intervene? Sorry, is it the Anarchs that am I thinking of? That we could use that and petition the Anarchs to intervene.
Well, if you can prove that she is making a drug that by its very nature threatens the masquerade, wouldn't need the Anarchs. The White Tower, the White Council would have her cease to exist.
Well, then I think it's clear what we have to do then.
But would they really care about a little town like this?
They care about the masquerade. Towns larger than this one have been removed off the map to keep this quiet.
But also, if the masquerade is threatened here, it doesn't just end here. It's not like we live in a walled state. Anyone could just leave, and then who knows where that information goes.
Anyone who could just leave and then disappear. Who knows?
One would hope. So where do we look first? I hear we have a name.
We have a few names. We know the connections for the Herc in Bloem and the dealer in Bloem already. But we never told
So
Mr.
why don't we
Michelle.
start?
Because we just got back from Mr. Michelle's secret dance party.
Sure, but we should probably start there. For the dealer in Bloem.
I think it's far more important while we're all here, we need to address the elephant in the room, which is there are 6 people in this room, and 5 of them have agreed that it's okay if everyone they know is killed. Because that's what you're talking about when you try to take out a baron.
Right.
You're going to cause a war. Now, Nicholas, I know you know what that means.
Yes.
Again, Zakar steps in. Zakar steps in. Again, we don't need to face her directly. We just need her to freak out once or twice more and show her power like she did tonight. And perhaps we could use that as evidence to, like, approach the other higher ranking officials in this town, us, people like us, like, maybe we should just destabilize her a little bit. Maybe we should just remove her.
And I agree that that's your best case scenario. If your plan is the best case scenario, you're going to lose.
Okay.
Your worst case scenario is you are preparing for a war where everyone you know is going to be destroyed. That's what you need to accept and plan for. And if you're not willing to accept that, you're not ready to make sure this thing gets done. And if you are willing to accept that, there's a whole lot of other concerns we have to have about loyalties.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm saying this with the understanding that you all know that I'm on the run on a foreign continent due to destabilization that happened in the city that I come from.
I know that
Do
now.
The math. I've been through this once before, and I can guarantee you that even if this goes perfectly, at least one person in this room is not coming out of this alive. That's just numbers.
So the odds, no matter what we do, the odds are completely against us.
Yeah, because we don't have the power. We're trying to wrest power, and people with power guard it jealously. That's why we don't have it. We haven't.
If it's any consolation, my investment in this plan is not in question, considering that if I don't do this, I'll probably die anyway. So I'm okay. You guys just need to discuss what your investments are.
I just need you all, that's why I rolled those D10s. I just need you all to remember something.
Mm-hmm.
Someone you know has got a very, very close connection to the Herc drug. Someone you used to know. Someone who disappeared recently.
No.
The three of you.
Yeah, but they disappeared. That doesn't help us.
Yeah, he disappeared, but his mother had something to do with it, wasn't it? Am I correct? You guys remember that? Yeah. And on that sort of a bombshell, we're going to take a quick break because I really need to pee.
Yeah.
We need to pee. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. So 10 minutes from now, 45. Whatever 45 it is in your area, we'll see you then.
Okay.
We all do.
It has to be a red drink, so it looks like blood. That looks like old blood.
Oh, my boyfriend literally has one of those in his room right now. The monster.
Welcome back, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
We're like,
We're having conversations.
We're having conversations and everything. So, yeah, you're sitting there in the room. You're standing there in the room with Zakar. You're trying to figure things out.
He's being such a weasel.
And yeah, so what's your plans? What do you want to do next?
Okay, so I asked the group. I said, so where should we start? Okay.
Well, we do have Mr. Benny Bookverum over there to question still. Can't forget about him.
God. Yes.
So, Zakar, how do you intend to counteract the fact that the Baroness is, in fact, going to have elders or other people in positions of power that are going to support her when you make this ploy, even if you prove that she's batshit crazy?
Well, that's why I went with this plan, is a lot of the, let's call them higher-ups.
Fair.
Are already getting a little bit antsy about her antics. And there have been, thanks to the last thing that happened to one of us, Kyle, there have been some seeds have been planted with those people about Beth needing help to come back.
I also have a suggestion on that front, and you can take it how you will, but my thinking is that if we find a way to implicate her in something that's really damaging to her reputation, it would serve them more to cut her loose than to try and bail her out for fear of going down with her. Just a thought.
I agree with that.
That is. I like how you put it. Cut loose.
Thank you.
What we're planning on is, if we can get her to act once or twice more like this, there might be a hunt called on her. which
Oh.
means you get free reign just as long as she's gone.
Well, that's dark, but serves us well enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
So that begs the question: are we going to spend the extra time to find the truth, which may or may not implicate her? Or are we going to fabricate enough evidence that we can prove beyond the shadow of a doubt that she's involved, even if we don't know if she is or not?
Who's to say we can't do both?
Well, if the goal is to get her removed, fiction often works better than fact.
Just a quick thing. Theodora, you're the only one that knows that real name. Yeah, continue, yeah.
So fiction often works better than fact. And as we've already proven that she is egotistical and maniacal, if we challenge her with believable lies, she will react in a violently defensive posture, which will accomplish what you're trying to do anyway.
Well, given my aptitude for the political and my proclivities for subterfuge, I think that might be more along the lines of something that I could potentially help with. We could maybe divide our forces, a group of us investigating the lead for the Herc trafficker, and the other half perhaps orchestrating a sort of smear campaign of sorts, albeit a little bit more subtle.
Remember that bunker we went down into?
You mean the one where I lost my favorite boot?
Yes.
Oh, and traded off my foot, yeah.
We never quite did get to that one room.
They're probably gone by now. Who's stupid enough to stay in a bunker that's been found out?
They're guaranteed to be gone, but there still could be information there that could be useful.
I'm sorry, what happened? I obviously wasn't there.
Obviously. What if me and Draggy here go down to the bunker, go sift out Richard, the drug dealer, and then you, Theodora, with your connections, try to find a way that we can get more crazy batshit to the wall, egotistical Baron Outmore. I don't know.
That's actually not a bad idea.
And don't you have to finish that statue? And then John, using your Johnniness, get information out of Benny.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I'm not comfortable with the particular details of this plan, but where I'm concerned, I'm fine.
I would also like to, I don't know, just witness Benny's,
I would recommend having
interrogation.
a second with me just in case there's any questions that we need asked. That two people forgetting something is much less likely than one.
Theo, help John.
Sorry,
I
guys,
will
my cat
kill him.
snuck into my room. I need to get him out.
I'd rather Theo help you because I will kill that motherfucker in a second and I'll make it painful. I can't control myself around him. So Theo with him, and then I'll inform Nicholas about the whole bunker on the way there. Cool.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
that sounds like a plan to me.
Just remember, no
So we
blowing
split
up
up then?
buildings.
Zakar's
Is that a
like,
thing that we've done?
that bunker has been sorted out.
Well, then why didn't you lead with that, Zakar, when we were talking about the bunker?
I
What
don't
do
know
you
if you
mean sorted
guys
out?
like. There's about 2 weeks
Cleaned.
that it's still there. You can go if you want to, but it's been cleaned out.
I mean, obviously.
There might be
Okay.
something that we've missed. That
Guess
they
it
have
doesn't
missed.
hurt.
That Mistress M has missed. Let's hope she's.
Oh, of course, she's the one.
Yeah.
Okay,
She
And
sent
there's
her goons
also
in
the
to clean-
residual. and energies that could still like linger in there, which I'm sure Nicholas could probably pick up on.
Okay. Well, doesn't
I
hurt.
could try.
I mean, worst case, Theodora, you could always sculpt them.
Oh yes, we could always do that.
Okay.
By the way, you still have dust on your shoulder. Just a little bit on the right there.
All right. Well,
Okay.
we might as well make it a quick trip then. It couldn't hurt to go and do a little bit of reconnoitering. So I guess what do we? I mean, we have Granny Laura here. Does she, maybe considering her sudden involvement in this endeavor, have anything to say about this?
Oh, dearie. I'm just here to listen and help where I can. My main goal here
So that
is
is
to
fine.
get Beth back.
I'm sorry. Who is Beth?
It's the Baroness that we're trying to get back.
We know
And
here.
why
Oh.
is your main goal to get her back?
Because Mistress M is destabilizing the balance, so to speak.
That notwithstanding, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't have an ulterior motive for trying to reinstate Beth, which I'm not against. I just don't. I mean, I have my motivations for that, but your motivations and our motivations may not necessarily be aligned. But you're not going to tell us, so I'm not going to waste my time. Let's figure out where to go from here. I'm with Olivia's idea on this, and I suppose that leaves you two to the interrogation then.
Good.
Okay.
Great.
Well, let's head to Star's kitchen. I start walking
Great.
upstairs.
Cool. You, as the two of you walk out, we're just gonna cut scenes where you guys go out. No, you stay there. Minnie May, Olivia, and Nicholas, you walk out.
Okay.
And for Olivia, there's a very, very familiar smell. Smell of old McDonald's. Camel cigarettes.
Carl?
Camel cigarettes.
Carl?
And some old milkshakes. You get out. There's a guy. Now, Nicholas, you've not seen him before. He looks like a typical boer with a big beard.
Okay.
And he's not dressed like a typical boer, but he looks like an Afrikaner, you know.
Okay.
He's standing next to his car, to a car, and that smell hits you. Old McDonald's, some rotten, probably milk or milkshake, and
Okay.
of course, Camel filter cigarettes.
Okay. Reminds me. I think to myself how much it reminds me of some of the patrons at the Kit Kat Club in the early 20th century.
Yeah. And he's like, hey, good evening. How
I
are you
never
doing?
thought I'd be excited to smell that. And I go up and hug him.
And he hugs you back. He's still a little bit wiry. There's probably still some meat needing to grow back on him. There's a very skinny fucker. For Nicholas. And he turns over,
Okay.
and with a cigarette in his mouth, he's like, I believe we haven't met yet. Kyle. He reaches out his hand.
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
Lovely to meet you, and I
Nicholas.
shake his hand.
And he looks at you.
And then I lean forward and I look at him because I can see he's like looking at me for a while, and I'm like,
Nah, you're not the same. So, where to now? Apparently we need to drive somewhere.
Do you want to take me up to Star's kitchen?
Oh, you and him? Star's Kitchen?
Bunker, gangrels. Gotta deal with that.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna just put a
Plus,
pin.
he doesn't swing that way, Carl. I'm pretty sure it would be more you and him going up to Star's kitchen.
On that note, how do you guys know each other?
Well, we could go back to the origin, but he picked me up when I came into town, told me I had to talk to the Baron,
Okay.
but we know each other.
Okay.
That's
Great.
correct.
Well, it's lovely to meet you, Kyle.
Other
Yeah,
things are
basically, I've got my fangs in a lot of necks in this town, if you will. Yeah.
I will.
I'm the what's that one movie where That black guy, man. Where he says
Oh.
he knew some people who killed some people who knew people who killed some people. That's me. I'm that guy.
So many
Yeah.
movies with that plot line.
I know
Well,
I'm
that is
that guy.
good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this
So
is
you're gonna-
to help the current situation in this hometown, right? In this town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just be careful what you say to each other when not in the library.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Kyle knows now, because Kyle is okay. Great. So many people. Let's go. Let's go to the
Bangs and a
bunker.
lot of necks. We're burning moonlight. Let's go.
I climb
That's
into
where
the
we're
front
going.
seat.
And you get into the car, Nicholas. There's
Uh-huh.
McDonald's wrappers everywhere. Now, as a vampire, you know you don't get any sustenance from this. There's
Mhm.
McDonald's wrappers, McDonald's bags.
Is Kyle human? Can I determine that?
He's definitely not human.
Oh, I was gonna say yeah, because then
Yeah.
it's like
He is smoking because it's a habit that he's always had.
okay.
It doesn't do anything for him as a vampire.
So
He
do
burns-
vampires still get joy from eating? Do we still taste?
You get joy from eating when you bite into someone's neck or thigh or whatever.
But like
That's- if you do flash of life, what's it called? You can fake being human. The
Blush of
problem
life.
is blush of life. Yes, blush. Yeah, thank you. You can
So
fake
there's
being human. The problem is 3 to 4 hours later you regurgitate all of that.
So there is a way by which a vampire can experience the same kind of joy from things like food.
Mostly, yeah, there is. It's mostly to do with
Mostly,
the blood
okay.
type and the emotion that the person they're feeding on. And if you're talking about drugs and illegal substances, if they're high on something, chances are you're going to get high off of their blood.
Oh, okay.
You'll
So I
that
get into the
you're
car
not-
and I say,
you won't be like, oh man, these hands can touch everything except themselves. Ugh. You won't be like that.
okay,
You will be like, I
that was a very
used to
great
have this
reenactment.
state. I thank you. I used to feel. I know it's like a shadow of the feeling that you used to have when you were high.
Okay.
You still get that sort of endorphins, if you will, but it's like, I feel good about life for a few minutes, and then
Okay, so I get into the back seat and I say, oh, Kyle, you must tell me how you keep your figure with all these McDonald's wrappers lying around at the back here. What's that about?
they're not mine. It's
Oh,
a
well, that
facade.
makes-
A facade? A facade?
Facade, and it's a great
Facade.
one. You're doing such a great job, and I kind of just like scoop one. I just scoop it a little bit to the left with my foot.
Yeah, granted, like, if you were to use any of your powers, you would take a negative.
Yeah.
In this car. Yeah.
It's like
and-
keeping my face upwards. Like
Yeah. He drives off and he stops at McDonald's and he orders some meals. At the first traffic light, I'm not going to say robot because then Americans will go, there's robots in South Africa. At the first traffic light,
we have Megatrons.
yeah, we've got Megatrons. He stops and he just takes one of the packs of McDonald's, and he hangs out the window. And one of the street kids come and takes it from him, and he drives again. And at the next
So
traffic light, he does the same, like 2 or 3 times that he does it, and then you just drive there.
So I'm noticing this, and I'm like, I said, wow, Kyle, that's actually really sweet. If you don't mind my sounding surprised.
He smiles, and he says, "Gotta keep the cattle fed somehow."
And there it is. I had a feeling that one was coming. Should have known.
And you get,
Okay.
yeah,
Nicholas, let me just fill you in about this bunker. Basically,
Okay.
we followed a lead for Herc from a door I found on one of my first experiences here in Bloom. We got in and shit got down. Gangrels, lost my foot for a little bit, grew back. Cal met his, sorry, not Cal, sorry. Sean met his mom, but didn't really find him because he chose the wrong fucking door. John
Sean?
basically broke his back.
Okay.
We got away, but then the gangrel hunted us down. I lost my sister. It was pretty emotional. Fucked the car. Yeah.
Well, that is very informative. Thank you
you.
for that rundown. And I think the right thing to say is I'm sorry that has happened to you.
It's fine. I've been screwed over so many times from these people. Kind of just numbs out. I get out the car and start walking to the hatch.
What do you feel like, before we describe what the area looks like, what do you feel like when you get out the car and you see that same scene? It takes you. I'm trying to guide your memories back to the first time you
Corvus?
saw Star's kitchen. Yeah, takes you back to Corvus. What's going through your mind? You take a few seconds to just appreciate the view. Now, this is what the view looks like. While you think about what it does to you, Nicholas, there's literally, you can Google anytime, Bloemfontein, Naval Hill, and you'll see a nighttime picture of that area, right? Now, the place that I'm taking you to is slightly lower elevated and in front of Naval Hill, but it's essentially, if you look out, you see the lights of the city, and where it ends, the stars, it basically connects with the horizon with the stars, and it's the stars. That's why they call it Star's Kitchen, because the traffic lights and the lights of the city flickers and everything, and then you basically see the flickering lights and the stars. That's all you see.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we get out of the car, I kind of remark, wow, this is definitely a lot prettier locale than I had anticipated for a drug kitchen. And then I kind of like, I take my phone out and I like take a little selfie in the background. And then as I'm like saving it, I look at Olivia and I'm like, it's not going on social media, don't worry. I'm stupid.
Sure. Yeah, this is the only place that any person, since starting my escapade in this town, that someone wasn't actually harmed by our investigations.
I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, not sorry to hear that this was the place that no one was harmed, but I'm sorry to hear that you've had that experience.
It's fine. Hatch is this way. Start walking down towards the hatch.
Mm-hmm. Kyle waits at the car.
So while we're walking, I look at Olivia, and I try to lighten the mood a little bit. I'm like, so it's a car. How was that exactly?
I just stop and look at him. What?
You know what?
Think I slept, you think I slept with Zakar? Oh my god,
You
honey.
just told me
That's...
Did you not just tell me in the car that you fucked the car?
I said fuck Zakar because he's the reason my sister died. Because he fails to inform anyone about his fucking plans until they actually happen.
Well, I definitely realized the error of my mishearing. I apologize.
Look, Nick, I know you're just trying to make things better, but don't.
Doing a bad
It
job
is
at
just it is just a really fucked up situation, and
Okay.
I really just want to get out of this town.
Great. Okay, I will help you do that, and keeping quiet now. And then we carry on walking.
Roll me a wits and awareness there, Nicholas.
Sure.
Awareness wits, sorry, that way around.
That's okay. Yeah, I know what you mean by now.
But you always have to correct it because it's fun.
No,
there we go.
You don't notice anything. Okay, cool. And
oh no.
You get to the hatch, and it's covered. You find it easily because you know where it is, Olivia. Brush away some of the dead branches and everything on top of it, and you can lift it quite easily.
Oh, it's
The door has been replaced by a lifty, uppy door. A cellar door, if you will.
A hatch.
An actual hatch, yeah. And as you open it, the smell of wet dog reaches your senses.
So I turn to Olivia. I say, "Did you say that this was inhabited by Gangrel?"
And
I jump down.
And the camera fades away as you jump down. Back at the ranch with John and Theodora. Just 4
All right.
engrams. Yes, there we go. So what are you guys up to?
So
Benny is locked in the door at the end of the hallway. Locked in that room.
So
And-
Theodora, what else are we trying to learn from him at this point?
Right.
before we
So basically, we need to find out the head of this child ring that they have and whatever other connections he has to the hook. Because he obviously gets it to, you know, give to
Right.
the kids or.
Okay, so I still have the guy's phone. So
the thing
we're gonna use
is,
that when we go in.
he also knew the Baron. So if we can get some more information out of him about his involvement with the Baron, that could be quite useful as well.
It's at this point in time where you hear a muffled and it's quiet again. You
sounds like-
have not gone in yet, right?
No.
You also hear a bit of heavy breathing, but thanks to the NVIDIA RTX technology, I can't simulate that. So yeah.
Well, we better go back down there to make sure he's not suffocating.
All right. So we head down to the guy.
Mm-hmm. What damage did you do to him previously? You remember?
I think just a few bumps and knocks.
Oh, all I did was break the bones in a finger on his non-dominant hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Olivia and I think, dropped him once or twice on his head. But
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's cool. What finger did you break? Can you remember?
I don't remember which side it was, if it was the thumb or the pinky. Probably the pinky, because that's the better place to start.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So it's not the thumb. That's all I wanted to know, whether it was the thumb or not. Okay, cool. You open up the door.
Mhm.
He's lying on the floor, hands tied behind his back, gagged. And the moment you open that door, he looks at you, his eyes go wide, and he tries to worm shimmy his way away from you. You know, trying to like hobble away.
where are you going? You can't get out of here. Look at him.
So I walk over, pick him up,
Mm-hmm.
one-armed, turn him.
Yeah.
Now, I know this isn't exactly your best day, but I'm about to be the closest thing you've got to a friend left in your life. So I'm going to sit you over there. We're going to make you reasonably comfortable, and we're going to have a conversation. If you understand what I'm telling you, nod gently. All right, I carry him over and set him down. And now I ungag him.
Water. If I may.
Fine.
I think that's reasonable.
I'll go get him some water.
Theodora, can you make sure you bring it back along with a steel pitcher?
Sure, I'll see what I can find.
Thank you.
Welcome.
That's me saying
And
you
I go
can
off-
find a steel pitcher and all that, okay? Just saying.
Yay.
Great. Yay! So I'll toddle off to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm. You find it.
And I'll
Find a glass of
take the
water.
glass. Now I go and hunt for a pitcher, which I'm assuming is also in the kitchen
No,
somewhere.
you found everything. You're basically
Alright.
returning back. It's basically the scene cuts like find a picture and it goes and it focuses on the camera focuses on John Andrews, and the next few seconds you just walk in with the glass and pitcher.
Here you go, John. This is for
Thank
you. And I'm gonna bring the glass close to Benny's mouth so he
And
could
you
like,
let him drink, yeah?
yeah. Not a lot, just a
Ah.
little.
You. Have you spoken to... What the hell is her name? M? Mistress? Surely she could clear this up.
Yes. Actually, she wanted to murder you. We brought you back here for your temporary safety.
Temporary being the keyword.
He goes ashen.
Am I right in remembering that she recorded the dance macabre and then sent us a copy of it on our phones, or was I wrong?
Yes, the message came through
Okay.
to all of your phones while you were talking with Zakar and everybody earlier. Yeah.
Okay. So, Benny, I take out my phone. This is what the woman who you thought would be able to protect you and save you was planning on doing to you.
A few minutes pass. What was that song that played?
Oh, it was
Dance
it was
Monkey.
Dance Monkey, yeah.
Yeah, it was Dance
Dance
Monkey.
for me, dance for me, dance for me.
He sees that play in front of him. Man, ashen white is not white enough. He's like, anything I can.
All right.
Oh God, no, why would she?
Because she needs to tie up loose ends to protect her own neck.
I mean, she... What?
By the way, Zappa, while I'm going to put my phone away, I'm hitting record and then putting it back into my pocket.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Do
You know
I
enough
see him
about-
do that?
Now
she'd be behind me to the side, so it's very likely that she could. I'm doing it to make sure that he doesn't see what I'm doing, but not
Okay.
concealing it from her at all.
Yeah.
So It's up to you if that's a roll or an auto.
That's not going to be a roll. If you're going to do it obvious to make it obvious to her, then she'll know. I'll let that one go.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're not trying to hide it from her, so
Not at all.
yeah, not at all. Yeah. Okay. What the hell do you want to know? She when I got in shit, she was part of the people that got me a new identity, and she told me to get out of Bloem, and then I got out of Bloem. Then I met Tony, bartender guy, and he sorted out some extra papers there, and I did what else? And then I had to make money. And he takes a deep breath, and in a very, very calm voice, somehow, and he smiles.
Ready.
Theodora, you're better at this than I am. Was that a holdover of some form of dominion, or was that just a change in personality?
I'm going to use heightened senses.
Okay,
I think would be
It's
the
a-
correct one.
it's a free thing. Heightened senses is just to.
I'm not sure if it's heightened senses or sense the unseen.
It's sense the unseen that you're looking for. Heightened senses
Oh,
is
yeah.
the one that makes everything brighter and louder.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
then sense the unseen then.
Yeah, roll me a rouse check there.
I got the song stuck in my head now.
You do not gain hunger.
Yeah.
That is
That's a
good.
first.
That's a first, yeah. First thing you notice immediately is you hear the sound, a crackling sound. Sort of like, and I hope the mic can pick it up. You hear a slight crackling sound like that. And with Sense the Unseen, with his hands tied behind his back, sort of like where his crotch area is a little... Something is glowing where his crotch area...
In his crotch.
Yeah, from this angle, yeah,
Hey now.
his crotch is glowing.
Okay.
From this angle. If you're gonna walk up to him and inspect, you will find out that... Are you gonna do it?
I'm gonna do it.
The thing that was glowing was actually... So what Sense the Unseen does, it makes everything that you can see black.
Yeah.
So it highlights the unseen things. So like you see an outline of him, you see like sort of like a pencil sketch, sort of like a black and white pencil sketch, and then the glowing thing in his crotch. And as you walk around, you see that the glowing bit is his pinky. And upon closer inspection, his pinky repairs itself.
Well, that's interesting. John, did you break that?
Yeah.
Well, it's not broken
I mean-
anymore.
Well, break isn't exactly the word. That bone got powdered.
Not anymore.
He turns,
So-
he looks at you, and he goes, and I want to...
Does he
He's-
look like he's not breathing? Like, is the chest not moving?
No,
Or-
his chest is moving. No sound is coming out.
He's losing his voice,
He's trying to speak. No sound is
but he
coming out.
can't.
Yeah.
He's hexed.
Shouldn't be inside of this warded building.
We take him outside?
If something's affecting him in here, I don't want to take him someplace where it's easier. Hand me your phone real quick.
Sure. Here you go.
I take her phone. I bring up just like an open text, open texting ability,
Yeah.
open type, and I snap the bands off of his hands real quick,
Okay. And he looks at
And
you.
and I just hold the phone in front of him.
He looks at you, and he's like, and he starts typing. And he gets 2 words in. I am, and more he types, I am, and he's trying to type something on the keypad, and nothing comes through. And he's like,
He's hitting keys and they're not showing up.
they're not showing up. And he's like, he looks at you, he's like,
I
he's in a bit of pain.
chew? Bite? You bite?
Was bitten by.
Uh-huh. I can't see because you're
He literally does this motion with his hands. He's sitting,
a zombie.
and as he does this motion, his hands go limp. It's like... And now we need to check out something again before he responds.
Could you remove a geese off of someone? Because, I mean, I can, but only in the, like, terminal way.
What, hickeys? I didn't hear what you said there.
A geese.
A geese?
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think
He's
so.
under a blood
You've-
control to not give information.
That is not my area of expertise.
And he nods his head. Is like,
I never thought I'd say this, but why don't I have any Ventru friends?
Well, thing is, the blood deal is more Olivia's alley with the blood magic. So why don't we, what about Granny Laura? Is she still around? Maybe she could help us.
Go check. I'll stay here just in case.
okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay.
Chill
I've
out,
been,
buddy. Just relax. Just
I've
wait.
been ghouled. And being a ghoul grants the ghouler certain control over what you can say and whatnot. And I can't. This is who ghouled me.
Right. Got it.
Okay, I can't say it, but
Can you mouth it out?
he tries and his mouth
No,
shuts.
You won't be able to.
Yeah. He's like.
There is, however,
but
a way that we can remove that protection.
Hmm.
Remember how I said not all of us are going to be able to come out of this alive? The way you remove that protection is someone needs to break the law, because he'll no longer be forced to protect the person that ghouled him if he's turned.
I see.
And it's also probably the only way, Benny, that you're going to be able to get out of this still partially alive.
he smiles. What do you want to know while we still have a few minutes? Specific information. What do you want to know?
Your involvement with the child ring and the drug herc.
It started off with just normal sex club, and then I got paid more money for more illegitimate stuff. Herc, I'm only the guy that gets it from Armand here in
Right.
Armand from Bloemfontein.
So Armand is actually the dealer you're familiar with in... Okay.
Hmm. And how familiar are you with our Baron? And why
She
was
helped
she
me.
trying to help you?
She helped me, I don't know, control? Maybe she wants people working for her in other places?
But what's
I had
her
to pay her.
involvement
I had
with
to
you?
pay her some money eventually. I had to pay her some money every month. That's it. She promised me everything will go away. I just need to pay her back.
To your knowledge, is she directly connected with either the production or the distribution of Herc? And the reason I'm asking him this is whether he says no or whether he can't say yes, I get an answer.
He looks at you. He's like, no.
Okay.
She just basically made sure I got out of Bloemfontein alive, and she's getting money from me every month. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people she gets money from. I'm just but the
I'm
droplet
just
in the tank.
curious. Why you?
His hands are untied, right?
Yeah.
Yes, at the moment.
He goes,
To be fair, I'm not worried about him doing anything with his hands.
It's not like he can't go anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah. What's he gonna do? Punch me?
She's got nothing to do with the hurt. He can still talk. All I know is that Armand from Bloem handed me some, and I distributed among the local populace. Among my people.
Okay.
I've got a... Oh, man. And he looks at the glass of water. There's still water in there, right?
Yeah.
He reaches over, he takes a few swigs. If you allow him to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll allow it.
Okay. He takes a few swigs. She... The other thing. She regularly gets me to send her 2 people. A man and a woman. Usually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do these people come back? Obviously not.
I've never seen them again.
Now, obviously,
No.
what Betty's
obviously
saying
not.
is
That
he
wasn't
supplies he supplies the pets.
Right.
I've got
Not unreasonable.
I've got if you look at my phone, Armand, he's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
There's an address. Under. You wanted to know the other guy
Yes.
that killed, and he goes quiet.
That killed Belinda.
Yeah. He's here. I can give you the address.
I need a name as well as an address.
Well, his name is Stefan.
Oh, Stefan. Okay.
Is Stefan. And he gives you an address in Kimberley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been meaning to take revenge, but Tony, Andre, they said they'll take care of it.
Okay.
And have they?
No.
As far as I know, not yet. They said they'll make it delicious for some odd reason. And you should also look into someone called Richard Wesson. I've been trying to get to the top of the... he is very forthcoming for some odd reason. Blame it on the rolls. I can get you into contact with someone called... well, look at my phone, Richard Wesson. He's the one supplying the Armand guy.
So he's the supplier to the supplier.
He's the supplier to the mule, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He's the guy behind... I don't know, he gets it from somewhere. And then apparently he is the guy second in the chain, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can get to him, like, leave Armand out of this. Armand is just a fucking poor mule. We all started there. And why are my rolls so good? Fuck.
I don't mind.
No, I mind. I'm giving you like a shit ton of shit now. He's the guy that gets it from a place somewhere in the wealthier part of the city of Bloemfontein. But Armand is just a connection between us and Bloemfontein. And Stefan, just... I don't know. I don't care if you kill him first before Andre does. It's gonna be amazing. It'll put me at rest.
I can promise you that not only is he going to die, I'm probably going to try to make sure that Olivia gets to do it, because then it's going to be really painful.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Do you smell? Do you smell that?
What am I smelling?
You smell.
Are we
nothing.
smelling anything?
You're not
Nothing.
smelling anything. No.
We smell nothing.
All right. Benny, I'm going to really quickly go through a number of names, and I want you to say no every time I say a name if they are not the person that ghouled you. Ready?
And
Anton?
nods his head.
Anton, Sebastian, Zakar. I just basically wheel down
every name at the end of it.
Except for the Baroness.
Except for the Baroness. He says nothing on each of those names. He tries to mouth something, but nothing happens.
Ooh, so he can't even say who it is.
He tries
by omission.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, never
goes-
mind.
and he goes. You know, he smells a little bit, and the next thing he says is, "It's roses, isn't it?" And he gets this serene look on his face, and he
Oh boy, he's
he
about to have a
breathes
bad
it
day.
in. He breathes it in. He breathes it in. And he looks
I
around.
think a little someone is here.
He looks around. First thing you notice, few droplets of blood on his cheek, on it, like here, starting to roll down. And he's like, touching his face, is like, blood? And he looks at you, and his eyes are slowly covered in blood. And the next thing that happens is he gets dots in his forehead that also starts bleeding profusely. And his face eventually is covered, and he's trying to scream. He's trying to scream. His hands go back on the chair. In his wrists, holes start appearing. His
If I
side-
use
Yeah.
sentience, no, I can't use sentience again. Never mind.
No, let's for purposes to explain the scene. That's still active.
Okay.
There's a misty blue incandescent thing going, like rising from him, going into the ceiling, while all this is happening.
Okay.
Yeah, his side starts bleeding, and he's starting to struggle to breathe, and he gives a few coughs. Blood comes out. How hungry are you guys?
I have
Only one. Ha ha ha.
I have 3.
I keep it at 1.
Oh, this is tasty. Is that cocaine I smell on his blood? Oh, but you don't drink from him.
No.
Don't worry. We'll find someone later. He starts coughing up blood. And he's like, God, help! Help! And it's just blood splatter. Whoever's standing in front of him is covered in blood.
Oh
It
god.
happens.
And
Oh god.
he slumps forward, but because his legs were tied, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. He slumps forward. And it's basically he just slumps forward with his head. He's limp as fuck.
Ugh.
And you hear the drip,
This
drip,
is
drip
a
of blood.
Dior dress.
I check for a pulse real quick.
There's nothing.
Yay!
He was.
Oh.
Is he
you can
dead?
surmise,
Because if he's not dead, I'm gonna kill him. This is a Dior
Oh, he's
dress.
dead.
you know why
Oh,
he's dead. You know why he's dead. He gave out a lot of information.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't supposed to give you that much. I was literally like, this is going to happen, then I'm going to roll this, and then we're going to continue on with the story. No, we're going to roll, we're going to roll, we're going to roll.
Yay!
And he dies. And in between the smell of blood and everything, both of you smell, again, you guys know this, white roses.
Hmm.
Yeah. And you, because you've got Sense the Unseen still available, before you decide to switch it off, you hear... Knick-knack, paddywhack, give the dog a bone. This old man came rolling home. And it disappears in the distance. It fades away. The smell of white roses permeating, mixed with blood, permeating the air.
Wow. That was interesting.
Well, we got a little bit of information. I take off my shirt and I need to go find another sink.
I need to get out of this dress. I hope it doesn't stain because, yeah.
And the camera switches scenes.
Yay! We lived! Yay!
Hello.
Hi. We find ourselves at the entrance of the bunker. Olivia just jumped down. Smell of wet dog permeates the air. I love permeates. Smell of dog is everywhere. And the first thing you notice, Olivia, is the doors that used to section off the areas are no longer there. This is just an empty structure. For all intents and purposes, what you can see. So what happens is you go down the stairs, Nicholas. Let me just quickly do a recap. You go down the stairs, and it's about 4 or 5 meters in. Then the hallway makes a sharp right. Right? And the first door on your left hand, there's a door, a room on your right hand side. And then it's 4 doors on your right hand side, 3 doors on your left hand side.
Okay.
With just a hallway going down. Basically, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Olivia, what you can remember is the first door was the security place. And you can explain to him what the other doors were. She tells you, hey, this was the security place. That had a lot of cameras. You look in, there's still some desks, no computer equipment, nothing, just some desks, 2 chairs, and that's it.
This is where the gangrels were. We open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Is anything left?
You see a few sleeping mattresses, basically.
So you're going to see sleeping gangrels, like, oh, fuck.
No. The stench is still coming from where they slept. A big ass mattress, a big giant mattress, and a few smaller ones stuck around the room. The smell of wet dog is strong here, very, very strong. There's a whiff of blood coming from somewhere. Dried, old,
Can I go find
blood.
that blood?
She walks. What do you do?
I'm kind of just following her at this point because I'm kind of like being a bit more tentative. It's just for narrative sake, but my character is very wary of upsetting the interpersonal balance that I've developed with the rest of the characters on account of my altercation with John Andrews, and also like sticking my foot so far in the awkward zone with Olivia when I misheard her by saying, which is not something you would expect a vampire to do, but I misheard her saying that she had I thought she said I fucked the car. Meanwhile, she actually said just fucks the car.
Yeah,
which wow, really do not know how to come back from that.
You roll me a wits and awareness. For you, it's going to be easier.
Wits and awareness.
Nicholas, yeah. Awareness, wits.
Oh, here we go.
Cool.
Got it.
You're attentive. You're really you're not trying to impose on her or whatever, and you're looking around.
Yeah.
And one thing catches your eye. There's a bit of red string where the wall and the ceiling meet. There's a bit of red string there.
Without metagaming, I know I know what that is just because of the context from things that I've heard from you guys before. But given my character's background with the occult, is that something I would recognize?
You would, yeah.
Okay, so and I'm correct in assuming it's a ward.
It's sort of a ward. It's basically to keep it's a ward. Keep places clean, keep things out.
Okay.
And maybe let some things in. Who knows?
Okay, so I look at Olivia, and is she still moving? Has she noticed it?
For her, you think probably she's seen this so many times she doesn't even notice it anymore?
Okay, so I kind of I stop her. I kind of mommy arm her a bit, when you put the brakes on hard in a car and someone's in the passenger seat. But I'd be sure, obviously, not to actually touch her. And I'm like, wait. Do you see that? And then I point at the ward.
See the red string, yeah.
It's literally the hag's calling card.
So, are you telling me that Granny Laura has been here?
Obviously, the mistress asked her to come in, make sure nothing ward off, and clean up
And-
the place.
And she didn't think to like mention this to us when we were talking to her.
You gotta understand, as much as I hate that high, she's literally just neutral. And this, it is primitive to something that involves getting Beth in place. She won't talk.
Okay.
She must not felt that this would affect us and knew that we would know what it meant.
Well, in that case, can we assume that it's not harmful?
It's not, literally, it's just a ward kind of deal.
All right. I mean, against what is my question?
Well, clearly not us, because we're here.
Okay, I suppose let's just proceed then. Where shall we start? You know the area better than I do.
I smell blood. I need to find that blood.
So
Do I smell it as well?
You do smell it now that you mention this old caked, dried blood. It is the last door at the end of the hallway on your left-hand side.
Mm-hmm.
That is where the blood is coming from. The smell is coming from.
I start walking towards that door.
The other places that, like, they've got no... The doors are open. They're still doors, but they're all open. It's just essentially... One of them looks like a lab of some sort.
Okay.
Or if you looked at it, it's like, I could imagine setting up a lab there, you know? Or maybe perhaps in your case... Yeah, you know, it's like something to make you... Maybe design... In your case, Nicholas, like, I could set up a costume shop thing here and create a shit ton of costume. Maybe, I don't know. But
Okay.
one is functional. There's a
Or you-
bunch of tables, white tiles and everything. The light in this place, if all the lights were working, this place would be lit as fuck. Sorry, I had to say it. This place, if all the lights were working, this place would look like your normal, like, hospital lighting. Everywhere is lights. You would have been able... But it's every third or fourth light that works or is on, switched on. So there's, like, spots of darkness and then a bit of light. And the rooms are similarly lit. Very dusky, very dimly lit. But you can, due to your vampiric senses, you basically like, oh, there's actual lights. Oh yeah, there is lights. Let's look. You know, you don't normal. That doesn't really bother you.
Okay.
The darkness or whatever, because you're used to low light situations, basically.
Okay.
All
right.
And you get to the last room, and there's a cage with some tubes, some surgical tubes dangling off of it.
I look at Olivia and I say, I assume that was here before.
We never got this far.
Okay, what do you... So I use my experience with medicine to inspect it while I'm talking to her. And I say, what do you think this could be? Do you think they were keeping people in here?
Well, when I tasted the last herc, it tasted of kindred blood, so I assume this is probably where they kept their main ingredient.
And they were just like exsanguinating other vampires.
I have no idea, but that's all I'm going to try to find out. I searched for the blood, any dry bloods.
Okay, while you're searching for that, intelligence and medicine there on your part, Nicholas. For you,
Okay.
you look around, you follow intelligence and medicine.
Okay.
Yeah, medicine, intelligence, that way around.
Alright.
You look around and you find like a half-filled vial of something. It's this yellowish amber liquid. And the stopper at the top has got the Ouroboros sign on it.
Oh, the snake that eats its tail. That's a alchemical motif. Spigeric motif in alchemy.
This was used to withdraw blood, exsanguinate blood from something or someone.
Okay.
Judging by the way everything was set up, this wasn't something, this was someone. Some of the tubings are a bit longer. If you looked at it, like, some of the tubings would go into your inner thighs, and some of the tubings would be like, if you were to do the what's it called? Vesuvial Man?
The
Is it
Vitruvian Man.
Vitruvian Man, sorry, Vitruvian Man. If you were to be doing that, that's where like you would see some of the shorter pipes would go into the wrists or into the arms, and the longer ones would go into the legs. The thicker ones, the ones that leads more blood out,
Okay.
would be like you could imagine yourself standing there with these things attached to you.
Okay. So this bottle that I picked up, it's got a yellow liquid
Oh,
in it.
it's Olivia that picked it up. You were looking at that, and Olivia found it.
Okay.
And she's looking at it, yeah.
Oh, she's looking at it. So I hold up my hand and I say, "May I?"
Yeah, go for it. I continue to look for blood. I go to those medicine things where you said they exchanged blood to see if there's any residues.
There's some residue in those pipes, yeah.
Okay.
Tubes.
I'm
And
gonna use truth
Sorry,
of
you
blood
go.
on them to see if I can taste what potentially was in there, like what they were extracting from.
It was an older vampire.
13th generation.
Can you roll slightly older than that?
Okay. Let me see what the roll is.
I'll get you now, Nicholas.
No, it's fine. I'm not in a rush.
Truth of blood is resolve and blood sorcery. So
It
blood
is
sorcery
ritual,
resolve. Right? Yes, ritual. So I'm rolling for it. Submit. 5 successes.
5. Okay, let me just quickly see here. What level is it? Oh, there it is. I found it. I found it.
Truth. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong one. Shit, sorry. That's the one that I can ask the blood questions about truth or lies. My bad. It's
Yeah, that is. You need to ask the living thing. Sorry. That's
yeah,
what
no,
just
I
read
read
now,
the wrong
yeah.
one. Shit. Extinguish. No.
Not extinguish
Tasteful blood.
Vita.
A tasteful blood. There we go. It's still resolved blood sorcery, but it's called taste of blood. It's
Level.
It's just a level 1 for my blood sorcery.
Oh, so it's not a ritual.
No.
Okay, just making sure, yeah.
But I can find out the basic traits of the one to whom it belongs.
Female.
Female.
Older. You're older than you. Definitely older than you. I'd say generation 11.
Damn.
Maybe 12-ish. Let's make it generation 12.
Clan. Since 5 successes.
Malkavian.
Oh, I know who it is.
They have committed diablerie.
What's that?
Eating another vampire to gain their powers. Or to gain a generation jump.
Hannibal Lecter?
It's how most vampires become more
Stronger,
powerful.
yeah.
They
need to
consume their own kind.
It's literally, you don't drink their blood, you literally eat their flesh and finish them. Yeah, diablerie.
Tasty.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it. That's what you get.
Oh, damn.
And as you taste it, you're looking at the vial, right, Nicholas?
Yes, that's correct.
What's your inspection here? What do you want to know?
I want to know if I open it, and I use my heightened senses to smell the liquid, if I can discern the chemical composition to find out what it is.
The chemical composition, heightened senses, you don't even have to roll it. The chemical composition is definitely kindred blood.
Okay.
Mixed with... Is that... Chemical composition. Is that...
I'm in suspense.
Gold? Do you smell
Oh.
gold?
Gold.
But
Okay.
gold can't be... Can it? Maybe? Gold? You smell gold. You smell also a bit of... The chemical composition is not as much chemical, but there's definitely a whiff of some form of either magic or maybe another kindred's not spit, maybe humanoid spit, humanoid blood. You're not entirely sure about that.
So this sounds like it relates more to alchemy than what I would in real life terms refer to as actual science. But so I assume that I assume that because ghosts and magic and stuff exists in the world of darkness, that alchemy does as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so my character's background, given his relationship with Aleister Crowley and William Blake Yeats.
You've definitely heard of concoctions that they made. That was
I mean, my character is probably very familiar with
apparently
with
very
spagyric
exhilarating
creation.
for humans to consume. And the stuff that goes into those concoctions, if you were to tell any human that that's what's in there, they will never consume it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, for
right.
example, one of your favorite pastimes things that you recently found out. Not recently, but that actually is a thing. You can literally make cake out of blood.
Oh yeah, that is a thing actually.
That is a thing, yeah. That's one of the things you guys dabbled into, yeah. Like, oh yeah, we can make cake out of blood.
Wow, what a great way! What a great way to spend your alchemical prowess. Okay, so I actually know enough about the culture of Victorian era alchemy to like give it some flair, if you want, for the narrative purposes. Okay, so I said, so I look at Olivia and I say, do you know anyone who dabbles in alchemy?
I'm trying to think if I've come across it during my investigations between different cults and all that.
You've had someone in your village that could do something like that.
Saying. So what would I roll? Do you think I can try work it a little bit?
Throw me your bullshit and see if I will allow it. What do you want to roll? I'm thinking you want to check in on your history.
I'm thinking because I was thinking either investigation and
one of the apparent witches in your tribe dabbled in it.
Helena.
And when we're still mortal and something was, she'd just make a weird concoction of stuff and rub it all over the wound if you were hurt yourself, or if you fell ill, she made like random crap. And she usually like Eye of Newt, and she said random stuff.
Yeah,
this thing's root, and maybe a bit of iron, and then she'd throw in some shavings of iron and let you drink it. And you'd feel better afterwards. Your headaches would be cured, your other pains would be cured for a bit, and stuff like that. That's your extent of knowledge with physical, because you are more focused on books and what they contain, related to a certain subject. This is not that specific subject.
So I asked the car if he could do something for me, and he said yes. I think it's time to contact, and I throw it up and catch up with my family.
Okay, the reason I'm asking is because this vial here contains a decoction that contains elder vampire blood, correct, Safa?
Older, just older.
Oh, does the yellow stuff contain the blood too already?
The stuff that you tasted?
So there's
okay.
There is older vampire blood in here that has been synthesized with gold, which, if you're not familiar with alchemy, might sound really strange. But I'm gonna give you a little bit of a breakdown. Just bear with me; it's actually quite relevant to what's happening. So, in most alchemical creations, there is a holy trinity between, shall we say, impure components that get over time desynthesized over and over again into their pure components. The holy trinity of those components being sulfur, salt, and if I'm not mistaken, mercury. But not sulfur, salt, and mercury as you know them. They're more metaphysical properties. So not actual salt, not actual mercury, not actual sulfur. They each represent different metaphysical properties. And I look at her and I can see that she's kind of like, okay. And I'm like, what I'm trying to say is this is a chemical decoction that has been magically infused. To what purpose, I don't know. But I would imagine that if you gave this to somebody to ingest, it would definitely make for an interesting experience.
And I grabbed the bottle. I'm like, Nick, you just discovered Herc. This is literally what they've been dealing.
Oh!
Oh.
So,
Yeah, I appreciate your information, like I do, but
I'm
you
so
know,
glad to be part of the
yeah, I just
team.
don't want to stop you. You had like that like pride in you, and I just don't want to knock you down a peg because I know you still feel awkward about earlier. Okay, so.
But wait, this is a clue though, Olivia, because I don't know. Have you always known that the drug was alchemical in nature? Because obviously most people assume that drugs are just chemical. But if this is a clue, if we know that it was made using alchemy, that narrows down the list of potential suppliers and producers.
That is very true. We knew the vampire side of it, and we knew there was other shit involved. We weren't too sure what.
Because this is advanced.
I think we know who supplied the blood now.
Who?
Mrs. McCaution. I started like walking around a bit more. So before you came along, I'm gonna keep walking around. Before you came along, we had another, how you say, kid in the group, and he had some mummy issues. Basically, we found out his mom was down here, and she was American. She was definitely old, and according to her blood, was Hannibal Lecter's friend.
The Hannibal Lecter.
No, I mean that she ate a vampire. Nicholas.
Okay, I wasn't sure if Hannibal Lecter was a character that was like in the. I didn't want to like break the immersion with that. Okay, so Hannibal Lecter's not in the. Okay. Okay, so well, that's great. We actually achieved something here. But now the question lies: who would be proficient in alchemy to this? Who would be proficient enough in alchemy to create something this complex?
Trust me, there's a few of those people around in these areas.
I mean, I've been alive for over 100 years, and most of my life was spent in social circles of people who were some of the greatest alchemists of their time. Isaac Newton being, one among them. But this is something else. This is about the closest you could get to. This is about the closest I've seen any alchemist get to the opus magnum of the alchemical philosophy. This yeah.
So basically, saying we need to find an alchemist who has many years on them.
Well,
probably dabbled along this, because obviously it's not going to be someone who just started dabbling in it and miraculously found it.
I mean, yes. Alternative to which, we would need to find someone who has access to information of alchemists prior. Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, continue talking, and do it whenever you feel like you should stop.
Okay. So we would have to definitely look into.
At this point, both of you, Nicholas stops talking, and at this point, both of you smell the smell of white roses. And both of you, Nicholas, you feel like you stop talking as if someone's holding your neck, like someone's choking you, but you realized it's a tiny little arm. Arms are around you. Shoulder, like your height, holding you from the side.
Okay.
And both of you hear, knick-knack, paddywhack, give the dog a bone. And it fades away in the distance. And just as quickly as the smell of roses appeared, white roses, it's gone.
Can I speak
Continue.
again?
Now you can continue, yeah.
And I look at Olivia and I'm like, did you also just have that experience?
Does it look like I did?
It does.
I think we better get back to the car.
You recognize the name, by the way. Oh, the sound, the voice, Olivia. You did. recognize the voice.
Oh, is it the little girl?
It's the little girl. Yep.
Wait, wouldn't
Okay,
I as well? Because I've spoken to her.
Yeah, you. Sorry. Yeah, you do recognize her as well.
Okay.
That voice. Sorry.
What's
yeah.
her name again? Sorry, I keep forgetting her name.
Belinda.
Belinda.
Melinda.
Belinda.
Belinda. Okay.
Okay. I guess Belinda has enjoyed fucking with us a little bit more. Let us get to the car.
Wait.
Car can...
Olivia, well, now that I didn't realize before, but because I never heard the voice, but I've had this experience before my own when I got into a fight with John Andrews and I was in my car.
Who hasn't?
No, but it was the intentions towards me were very benevolent, and I felt similar now. Have you had experiences with her that have been malicious or?
When have they not been?
With me, that's what I'm trying to say. What's the common denominator? What differentiates how she treats me with how she treats you guys?
I have no idea. That's something you're gonna have to ask her with your seance idea.
Okay. Anyway,
Unfortunately,
media.
she just doesn't like us.
Okay.
But yeah, Zakar's the only one I can think will know potentially any leads on who can concoct this.
Okay.
And if not, he can help me get in contact with someone who I know has an idea on how to concoct this.
I do feel I should probably warn you. If this is not someone who has just found information that would allow them to create something like this, and it is indeed someone who has lived long enough to create what is very near the opus magnum of alchemical philosophy, then we're probably dealing with somebody very cunning. And I would even go so far as to say somebody that I might know, considering it would take a very long. Alchemy, the height of alchemy as a philosophy was when I was still human, and proximal to areas of Europe where I lived and frequented. So I could also use some of my contacts. I'm still in contact with a lot of people that I would used to hang around from anywhere from the Rosicrucian Order to the Golden Dawn. We might.
You hanged out with that cult?
They're not a cult. They were a secret society. It's different. But that notwithstanding, it was more of a mutually beneficial arrangement. It was more or less.
I just have a question since you're so fucking old.
Yes.
Did you, with Alice,
Crowley?
Yeah.
Oh, Alyssa, Crowley, and I had a very interesting relationship. Yes, actually, very strange, but surprisingly lovely man. Yes, I actually didn't realize how hard.
That's what people do, right? They make them seem lovely.
Oh no, I was never one of his dilemma enthusiasts. I didn't realize how hard our breakup would be on him. It was probably one of the only beautiful things he had ever written was a book of poetry dedicated entirely to our breakup, which would have been sweet were it not for the fact that I was very, very annoyed with him at the time.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Well, just do your connection thing. Just make sure no one finds out you're asking questions, because we're trying to keep the investigation down low.
Of course.
Okay. Well, let's head to the car, because this brings painful memories of the murder of my favorite shoe. I start walking out.
Yes, no problem. And I follow.
You guys walk out, leave the smell wet dog behind, get into the car. I'm just going to speed this up to get you guys together again.
Okay.
Kyle drops off one last packet of McDonald's as you head to the university. And you get to the university, and we can get the other two people also in. You get out with the concoction next to you, walk into the university. That's footstep sound, the sound of footsteps, no more footsteps around you. yeah, you enter the university. You go down to the secret area of Zakar. Zakar and Granny Laura is talking, taking note. They're talking and scribbling shit down. This is about 5-6 minutes after Benny has passed, by the way. What are you guys up to in those 5 to 6 minutes?
Are you asking us?
John and Theodora.
Oh.
You're not doing anything? Or am I just deaf?
Sorry,
Clearly.
Mama.
I'm
I'm
also
so
not hearing
sorry. I'm trying to I'm trying to clean off or wash off as much blood
that's
off
what
me
John
as
also
possible.
did. Yeah, so you guys are in 2 separate rooms, actually. You're not in the kitchen area. Cleaning off
No,
yourselves.
I guess I've been like a bathroom area trying
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
I send everyone a... Oh, okay, cool. There we go. You send everyone a copy of the video so that you guys know exactly what happened. You get there, you get this, you watch this. Zakar sees this, Granny Laura watches this, and like, they just like, huh, okay. Interesting. Definitely under someone else's control. That's what they mutter to each other as you walk in. They say like, oh yeah. You guys like walked in, looked at the phones like, oh. And you hear them like, interesting, yeah, that's what happens when you're ghouled by someone and they're the only one supplying you with blood. Huh, interesting. But it's a higher level sort of thing, this. Oh, it's a higher sort of a level, sort of a higher level sort of a blood sorcery, if you will, kind of thing here. The car's like, yeah, wonder who it
Wait.
was, though. I wonder who it was. Dear, it is, That's what you overhear as you walk in. Both of you.
Zakar.
Okay.
Oh, hi.
I thought-
Oh, hi.
I thought you and Ella were the only ones that dabble in, besides the hag, in, you know.
Am I standing? Can I hear this?
Yeah, you can hear this. You're part of it.
So I look at her and I'm like, I don't know. What is that?
Also, both of you can hear that. The other two can also hear it because vampires. They're not trying to hide it from anyone, as far as I know.
No.
But like, yeah, no. We were the only ones, as far as we know. New.
Only ones? What? What are you guys talking about?
That dabbles in blood sorcery.
Oh.
Um, to clarify, I may not have just sent the video to Nicholas because I may not have his number. Do I have his number, and did I send it to him? And if not, I will.
I know
Continue.
all
I
of
can't
you.
think-
All of you got your numbers. That's like one of the first thing you did. First things you did is like, hey, this is my number. If you need me for shit,
Right.
this is where I am.
It was one of the first things we did, but he just joined us, so I don't know if we got his.
Yeah, and also I can't imagine like willingly giving my number.
He's right next to me, so when I'm watching it, he can see it. So.
Yeah. He
So
saw
I-
it through her.
It's
Yeah.
from John pop up, and I quickly pull my phone away from you.
No, he eventually got to see it as well, by the way.
Okay,
How the guy died and everything.
just making sure.
Okay.
Zakat, do you know anyone that does alchemy in the area?
And not just any, hedge alchemist, like pretty.
Like, I'm a
Significant.
hedge witch. Okay. Yeah, no.
Yes, Granny Laura. You,
Actually, I know someone in the area that practices alchemy, and enough that it is. The term we used to use was metacarnal, but I know that's not going to be yours. Actually has real effects on the body.
No, you're
okay.
talking about that lion print thing that you had dealt with recently?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean,
Don't know if it's related, but it's at least ballparkish.
Makes sense. Golden color, golden herc,
Mm.
well,
right? The
it's
power,
actually,
because the herc gives
so
the
gold is actually
power, but then they die. Didn't you say your fighter got power temporarily with the claw?
Yeah, he he got strong enough that he was actually able to hurt me, and kind of like lost control and started to rage. I haven't seen him in the
Oh.
last 3 days to know if that's a thing or if it's gotten worse, but I expect it's going to.
So I guess we gotta go find your Sangoma.
Yeah.
So wait, you say that they exhibit increased physical strength and then die.
From Herc, yes.
Okay.
From this other alchemy that we're talking about, a 20-year-old fighter that I've been working with was able to hit me hard enough that I felt it.
Well, there are.
He probably
various-
would have killed a mortal.
Okay. Well, there are various alchemical tinctures that could account for an increase in strength, for sure. But the complexity of this particular, and I'm holding up the vial. I have the vial, right?
I'll give it to you.
This particular alchemical complexity is a little bit different. So, if for those of you who aren't familiar, the opus magnum of alchemical philosophy is, as some of you may know from popular fiction, eternal life, right? The Philosopher's Stone. And I'm ignoring Olivia's gesticulation there. But this one is not that. So this actually changes things. If you say that the imbibers of this liquid end up dying, it means that whoever made this, if I'm being reductive about it, whoever made this has all the understanding of the alchemical components, but none of the finesse and expertise to craft something that would actually keep their imbibers alive. So we're not actually
This is a drug that was also mixed with 13 gen. Oh, by the way, it worked out to be Mother McLaughlin's blood. They literally synthetically altered this alchemist thing to make a drug for humans. I'm talking about that they maybe used what this Sangoma did to create this drug, not knowing that it would cause to humans.
Or more to the point, they're still testing.
Yeah.
Unless I'm mistaken, part of what you do when you try to make a formula like this is it requires many revisions before you get it right, and it's not uncommon to use laboratory animals to test.
Yeah.
Now my thing is, Sean's missing. Sean's mother's missing. Do you think Sean is the new blood bag for these people?
Yes. I also think we have just proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that if you all remember something very unusual that happened, I think we have proven that the Baroness either is involved or is utilizing the results of the experiment.
Most definitely.
Because the first time Dog Boy saw the Baroness, he went nuts because he smelled his mother.
This is very
That's
true.
very true. It's all making sense. Now, all we gotta do...
Almost like it was a well-written campaign.
Right. Now, all we gotta do is find the Sangoma, get information from the Sangoma, find out who she's making it for, who was she applying half the mixture to, and then we got another lead. Did you guys find out anything about the drug dealer?
Yes. We found 2 more of Benny's contacts, and we found out that the guy in charge of the other city is probably the next link in the chain. As far as Benny knows, the Baroness is not directly involved in the food chain, but
she's profiting off it.
She's got fingerprints all over this thing, whether she knowingly is involved or not.
So you tell me the person that helped us get some random person without any debt has bad? No.
Right?
What?
Yeah.
We're
I
know,
vampires.
right?
We're all bad. There's
Okay,
just
Nicholas.
degrees of bad.
filling you in, we went to the town to go find Benny. The guy that helped us get Benny and gave us all the things and gave us the big pretty bomb that goes shine, like instant sunshine on us.
Yeah.
And made sure we'd be able to kill him and destroy the body.
Because he was cutting off probably a loose end because we were on the trail.
Are you talking about the thermite grenade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy that gave us that is basically the reason he did it is probably to cut off loose ends.
Here's
Yep.
something I can't figure out though. So at the height, I'm sorry to keep coming back to this issue, but it's just a puzzle piece that's vexing me. This is obviously the work of a great alchemist, but the art of alchemy died out with the familiarity that most people in the occult circles had with the existence of vampirism, because the opus magnum of alchemy was to achieve eternal life, the panacea, if you will. But when vampires became more commonplace in in occultism and things like that, that pursuit kind of curbed. So if we're looking for someone who is both an alchemist and old enough to be an alchemist of great repute, that there would likely already be a vampire, but who would be practicing? I don't know. There's something that doesn't add up between who is producing this and for Mistress M and why. How would those connections even be made?
Well, why are you helping us right now? What's your reasoning? Blackmail. Everything has been about blackmail. It could be that person has been forced their hand. It could be that person just wants to create chaos. It could be that person just wants something or they are being forced to. We don't know, but that's why we're going to investigate it.
Also,
Unless
it's important to remember, even among immortals, there are legends of better forms of immortality.
that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because if you already have immortality, why work your way up to an opus magnum that would probably only be of benefit to someone who is not immortal?
So that you can watch a dawn rise.
Okay, that
Hey
well,
there,
I guess.
the car. Why haven't you chipped in earlier? Well, it's interesting to see how long it takes them to get to a certain point or remember something. A couple of weeks ago, when this whole thing started, do you guys remember me mentioning anything about perk having different effects on people?
Well, I wasn't there, so
Yeah.
So I'm inclined to agree with the whole "we're testing stuff out" theory. Some mortals got turned into ash, essentially. Some of them gained human strength. Some of them just passed out. That's just how it works. And it seems like between men and women, it's got different effects, as far as we could tell. The reports that came in. Women have a higher chance of just passing out, whereas men has a higher chance of being more aggressive. We are talking mortals here. We've not tested it on... Have we tested it on a vampire? I don't think we have.
Shall we test
Does
it?
that make it viable that the formula could be being worked on specifically for a
human
female
consumption.
kindred? Or are we going with the assumption that it's the source that's causing that effect and not the intended result?
It's the source. It's definitely not the intended result. Yeah. Someone is testing this. And to sort it out. And we're burning moonlight. Are you guys going to stick around or going to return to your domiciles? To your
I'm going to crash
havens?
where I always crash. I go downstairs. Actually, I'm going to go to Delphine's room and probably just crash it because Will was there.
Okay.
Oh, I pipe up before any of this happens. I say, what's what happened with your interrogation, you two?
Oh yeah, the interrogation. Let me not. We've got about 10 minutes. Continue on.
Well,
The
we found
one that you just watched.
I wasn't there. No,
on
your
the video.
interrogation of.
They videoed it for us.
Oh,
The
Yeah.
well, I thought you said you sent a video of the dancing.
No.
Well, that was early, but no, right when we were all
okay.
getting together, I gave everybody a copy of the video. That you wouldn't see the video, you'd hear the audio of the entire situation, so you know everything that happened, except for the fact that and what you couldn't see at the end of all of that was that Theodora's little friend basically crucified Benny.
Oh, so I inquire about that. I say, what? How did he? I know he's dead now, right? Obviously.
Mhm.
Well, you can smell the
say,
cocaine
well,
blood on Theodora.
So I say, I don't understand how exactly did he die, and also if he's dead, that's gonna if I'm gonna have to figure out if we can still do something about I want to say Annabelle, what's her name, Belinda. I want to find out if he's dead, if there's actually still something we can do for Belinda.
Well,
what happened was there's a word for it that I can't remember, but you know when the marks
Stigmata.
Yes, basically stigmata appeared on his body, hands, feet, forehead, and then the wound opened on his side, and he tried to stand up and stretch out and fell over dead. He got stigmated to death.
And he was bleeding out of every orifice.
Is that kind of biblical motif something you've seen before, or?
I mean, I like a lot of horror movies.
So, all of you do know that there is a clan bane where that happens to you. You can't put your finger on it, but one of the clans, you've seen vampires in the past freak out a little bit, and when the beasts take over, they start bleeding like that.
Okay. Why? Okay. We've only seen this happen to vampires, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But from a certain clan.
Because
a certain clan.
All right. So then I speak up and I say, well, I've seen something to vampires, but as far as I'm aware, this kind of thing doesn't happen to humans.
Not usually, no.
Unless he was in the process of transitioning into a vampire, but I don't understand.
He was a ghoul.
He was a ghoul. That's why you can give them the answers.
Okay. Well, I guess that would make sense then. It's unusual still. But what clan would have that kind of ability or control?
Anyone can make a ghoul. But
the stigmata.
No, but what clans attached to the stigmata?
Isn't it
Zakar?
Caitiff or something?
Zakar? Oh, you're like...
Okay. Zakar's busy loading.
Okay.
Zakar.exe has stopped responding. Would you like to?
It's specifically, he looks at you like, it's specifically Malkavian.
Ah. Of course.
That makes sense. Malkavian's linked to Herc. So.
Is it reasonable to assume then that the person that ghouled him was Malkavian?
Malkavian? I would say that's a safe assumption.
Yeah.
Wait, Zakar, you can tell who someone's sire, who the sire of someone is. Can you not do that for a ghoul, or only us? You could try.
Seeing what happened, I don't really want to dabble in that currently.
That's fair.
I mean, let's just get. Someone knows he's dead now. Someone other than us knows he's dead now. So let's just get rid of evidence as best as possible.
I have one more question. What was said about the one of the characters in this whole situation? I didn't quite understand what he was saying. There was a Stefan involved.
Stefan.
Stefan, yes.
What was Stefan's role in this?
He's the monster that killed his daughter initially.
He's the uncle.
Okay, let the
He's the
voice of the
uncle, yeah.
storyteller be a thing here. You, Nicholas Van J.
Uh-huh.
When I said Stefan, you linked it to your guy. Your guy's got
Yes.
another name. It's not the
Okay,
same
well-
guy. It's not the same guy. Let me just put that out there.
I was
Lots of
trying to
people
be
are
It's not
saying
the
subtle,
same
John.
guy. Yeah.
I didn't want to I was trying to be subtle about it, but I'm just double checking.
Mm-mm. No, you as person made that connection without me saying anything. And you're like,
Okay.
oh, it's his name. I'm like, let me just flow with this and see where it goes. No, but it's not the same guy.
Okay, but my character wouldn't know that though. I would still be a little bit concerned. Or
it would be, but it's not the same person. You know him. It's not the same guy. They might have the same names,
I
but it's
mean-
not the same guy.
There's a slight difference in the accent.
Yeah,
It was just a weird.
Stefan and Stefan. Stefan.
Can
Stefan
I-
is
I was
Afrikaans.
Part of my character was purposefully mispronouncing it so that they didn't think that
Ah,
they
okay.
didn't
Oops.
think we got more investment.
Oops.
But it's
okay, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it does. Okay.
And
Okay.
with that last bit of audio file and you guys talking about Stigmata and Malkavian? The camera fades to black. And it opens up again with a house party. And someone with long music thumping in the background, maybe a bit of Dance Monkey, and someone with long black hair is walking in this house part, like into this house. A lot of people around her, men and women drinking and cheering and cajoling. The camera turns around and you see these bright blue eyes. Someone's like, "Hey, Leah, how are you doing?" She's like, I'm doing good. And she's like, "How's things been?" And they continue on with the conversation as the camera flows over the crowd into a darkened section of the backyard with three men talking to each other. The one guy's like, "Hey, I know if you give this to a lady, she passes out. But if we drink
Jesus
it, we get stronger. And we get more
Okay.
energy."
Awesome.
And the other guy's like, "Seriously? Okay, cool. Give me some of that. I've got someone I want to use it on. And I'll drink some of this." And the one guy's like, "But look at this." And he takes a swig. With the concrete wall next to him, he leans against it. He's like, "I think it's taken effect." And he pushes slightly, and the concrete wall gives way a little bit. And the other guy's like, "Oh, okay, maybe I can do the same." And he opens it up. He drinks it. He drinks a bit of it. He closes it. And he looks around at everybody. And he looks at his hand. And his pinky starts turning into ash. And the camera fades to black. And that is the end of the outro. That is the end of this
Yay!
episode.
And that's the
Yep.
trailer for not doing drugs, kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is your brain on
You'll
drugs.
turn to ash.
You turn to ash, yes. Wow.
This
Wow. This went on a little bit longer than I expected. But thank
you
you.
say that every week.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. First things first, what stood
Thank you.
out?
For me,
Nobody
it was-
died.
Yeah, well, Benny
Benny, guys, come on.
Benny doesn't count. He's not a PC.
John's voice of reason. He always seems to be the voice of reason.
For now.
For now, yeah.
When the Bruja is the voice of reason, your party is fucked.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Oh, God.
And you, Minime?
For me, it's Nick's alchemy information that he popped out there.
Holy shit.
Solid stuff.
Side
I thank you for that
Yeah.
alchemy information because now I've got something to work off of. Wait, what? Did I say that out loud?
I
Let me fix my notes.
I was hoping that would help give you something to work off of for the
That
rest
was
of
I've gotten an idea of how it works. But it has since the beginning of this entire story, it has
Mhm.
progressed a little bit. So it touched on alchemical stuff, and you gave me some extra info that I didn't know I needed. Thank you.
I just know that when you're welcome. I just know that when I was, when I DM for stuff and the players become like overly forthcoming about their background and stuff they know about their background, I'm kind of like, I'm just gonna write that down for later.
Yeah.
I think what was actually really interesting for me, and it was a thoroughly enjoyable aspect of the gameplay, was how our kind of like our synergies. All of us of various conflicting personality types, finding a sort of a harmony in loosely and clumsily forming what actually ended up being a very coherent plan. And that eureka moment with me and Minnie May in the bunker where we like discovered something, and I really didn't think that anything of import would come from that excursion. And suddenly it's like, oh wow, I really feel like part of the team, and I don't know, like maybe it's a bit selfish, but it made me feel like important to the team dynamic, and that was really nice for me. But like for me, Nicholas,
who else is gonna make it awkward by mentioning awkward things?
I can't believe it did that. It's so
I
embarrassing.
literally took a moment. I was like, was he meant to say Zakar, or was he trying to say Kyle? Like, I looked at you, and then you're like, Zakar. I'm like, what?
But like, I part of me wanted to be like, oh, I as the player misheard that, but me as a vampire probably wouldn't have. So can we like go back in that? But then I actually was like, this is actually maybe an interesting dynamic builder between us. So I said that.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So what's the part that stood out
And
to
it was
you? That whole synergy thing.
Oh yes, that was
okay.
it for me.
Okay, cool. And for Mr. Second Class Leader / John Andrews.
Mostly the way that you deftly soft rebooted back to chapter 1 again. Because we've gotten so far from the original story and added new cast members and added new audience. So you use the opportunity of just rolling all of that into a ball of soft reboot. Guys, remember this is where we were when we started and none of this shit has been resolved yet? So that was trundled very nicely together.
Literally 26 episodes later, we're back at episode 1 again.
I know! And we haven't solved shit yet.
You haven't solved shit yet. But there's some interesting things on the horizon. You figured out one major thing tonight, which I'm pretty damn glad for.
What thing?
What thing? What did you figure out? What did you figure out, Olivia?
Oh, Sean McLaughlin's mother was the drug.
But we knew that, didn't we?
We suspected it. We had no way to validate it.
Now the thing is,
and we know that she ate other people.
I didn't know that she ate other people.
Here's a different take on it. How strong do you need to be to force a vampire of that generation? Did she give her blood willingly, or is she forced?
Well, maybe she did. Maybe that's why she ate. No, but maybe that's why she ate someone. Was so that she'll be strong enough so the hook will take effect. So she was. But then why was she in a cage?
Right.
Maybe
that's
she
why
was
I said I can't
force-fed.
believe it's willingly.
That was probably force-fed.
How strong do you need to be to control such a vampire? To get
Pretty
them
damn
under
strong.
Control?
Or just have a high dominance, right?
You have to be powerful, not strong. There's a difference.
As I say, your dominate needs to be like a high level to be able to control another vampire, a kindred spirit.
Or you just have to have really good information on someone.
But even though,
powerful,
like, if
strong.
someone had blackmailed me and I was that powerful, that Jen, I'll be like, bitch, try me. Try me.
So we're gonna do the after show soonish.
Yeah.
But before we go, we need to shill ourselves. The shilling part of the show. We're gonna go in reverse order now. Lady started first. Now bearded man starts first. And then he can point it to someone, whoever he wants. Second class elitist. Who are you? Where can people find you? and then obviously pass on the baton.
I am second class elitist. I will be streaming tonight. In fact, in all of 4.5 hours. We've been doing a lot of Predator Hunting Grounds, a lot of Streets of Rage 2. I also do some crafting streams where right now we're building a Command & Conquer Red Alert Soviet themed case, which is going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, come and check me out on Twitch, second class elitist, and I'll see you guys there.
Who's next?
Nicholas.
Me.
You.
Second class had to say who's next, but okay, cool. It's Nicholas.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
That works.
if that's official. My name is Nicholas Van J, as read below, and I am a variety streamer. Oh wait, we're not just saying like where else. Okay, sorry.
No, tell us what you're doing. I'm trying to figure something differently out here.
Because I'm like, do you do this every episode? I mean, that's
yes.
Okay, so sorry guys. My name is Nicholas Van J, and I'm a variety streamer, like most of these people here, from South Africa. And I'm currently streaming a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, but I'm in the final expansion, the Shadowbringers expansion, which has been voted the best MMO expansion of any MMO in MMO history. True facts, you can Google it. And it like, I have actually, yesterday, I didn't tell you guys, I actually cried on stream yesterday. It was a lot because of like one of the emotional narratives. I'm not going to go into details. And I stream every day except Tuesdays, Fridays, and obviously Sundays because of this at 4 p.m. GMT +2 until quite late. So you guys can catch me there. And I vote Minnie May.
Hi guys, my name is Minnie May. You can find me on Twitch at Minnie May Zah, as well as on Twitter. I am a variety streamer, like most people here. I focus a lot on FPS and MNOs, and I'm currently actually doing a playthrough of Cloudpunk. It's this game created by Iron Lands, and it's fucking amazing. It's based in the futuristic cyberpunk style, and the dialogue is emotional, and the story is like, it's like if you watch Westworld, it's like mind blowing. You're just like, oh wait, you try to work it out, you guys fucking insane. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Theodora.
I am Luna Sanguine. You can find me on my channel as well as on Twitter with the same handle. I play a lot of horror games, MMORPGs, and I'm currently doing a playthrough of Subnautica, which I'm slightly addicted to at the moment.
Cool.
So,
cool. Now it's my turn, I guess. Thank you, everybody, for being such awesome cast and characters. We delved a bit into trying to find the gel in the group tonight, which I kind of loved. And just before anyone says anything, yeah, I did a lot of switching scenes tonight because I got private messages and I can't show them on screen. And I've only kept the same thing that I'm capturing from. So I'm thinking maybe we start the Zoom thing next week so that when I get private messages, I can respond to them on Discord while Zoom is still being streamed.
We can give it a shot.
It's literally just a case of like, we can still send each other private messages and no one will be none the wiser. But tonight I had to do a lot of be right back while still the action is going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm like typing furiously and then switching back again. It's my fault. I should have predicted this, but hopefully next week we got that sorted. Hopefully Zoom is good to us. Hopefully. I hope.
I'll have to download it. I don't have it.
You essentially just need a link, I think. But
Okay.
download it and I'll organize the Zoom thing so that we don't have issues on our side. But yeah, my name is Zaffageek. I'm a variety streamer. You can find me everywhere at /Zaffageek or Zaffa_geek. I will be doing some Outer Worlds and some Final Fantasy this week, intermixed with some Raft and Afrikaans on Monday. We're gonna hit up my friends. They're basically streaming with me, and all proceeds, well, half of the proceeds goes to them because they can only work at level 1 of the lockdown. So half of the money I make goes to them. And
I love Raft. It's such a good game.
Raft is such a good game.
So underrated.
It is. And the thing is, unfortunately, there's, like, the moment you've uncovered a lot of things, like, everything is open to you. You can build anything on your raft, and that's fine. But for me, personally, it's just going to island, exploring, dying to Bruce, coming back, and Raft is such an amazing game. And apparently it's got a storyline.
Mm-hmm. The storyline is heartbreaking. Let me tell you, when you get to it, the storyline is heartbreaking.
Oh, really?
Oh, God,
Me and my
yes.
friends, we're just
So
looking
good.
about. So you're telling me I need to get the radio signal thing?
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's what I need. Okay. That's basically, we're just mucking about. We're on that verge of just starting to build the raft, bigger and better and everything and all that. But that is basically it. We're gonna do the after show now. I personally have to go pee very quickly. So we're gonna do the after show. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Auto host will take care of the rest because I can't be bothered. We will see you next week, same time, same place. Here, after show, pre-show, everything there. I given the thing away. Awkward wave. And I shall see ya. Stop streaming. Stop recording.